Hadouken, 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 Shoryuken. How you like that? How you like that? You like that? Shoryuken, Shoryuken, Hadouken, Tatsumaki. No, I didn't mean to do that. No, no, no. No, damn it. No, no, he's not going to take my points. Has that happened to you? Many, many times. Rage quitting and etiquette and attitudes today on Fight Talk. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Blazt The Speakerz. With me in the background, I've got the utility man. What's going on, buddy?
I noticed you were so mad there, you forgot the topic title of today's stream.
I was so mad. This guy, he took my points. I wouldn't let him have it.
I'm sorry. I hate to do that. No, I don't hate to do that to you. I love doing that to you. This is why you're still white rank.
The purest that you can be. That's what it is. It's the purest you can be. So, what's going on, man? How are you today?
Not bad. Not bad. I was just really looking forward to this episode because there's a few keynote topics I really want to hit tonight.
I see the whole Lipton bag in the background.
It was relevant. It was relevant.
Relevant how? Please explain. Because oh my God, I'm already losing my voice. You see, one rage quit is all it takes. Maybe I should call out sick tomorrow. I don't know.
Maybe you should have called out sick tonight.
You know, I almost did. With all the technical difficulties, with all of the other issues, man, I was playing my game and I had to stop with this. What? Come on, man.
But we have technical issues every stream. What's different tonight?
Tonight, I almost got my points stolen. I had to quit the game.
But that's not technical. We all know Doobie's going to come in here in a little bit and he's going to be muted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No. Doobie will not be muted. He will not. Shout out to the Code Always Wins. He's out there. Let me clear my throat. Excuse me.
Better?
Nope.
No. I hope that's water and not vodka.
You know, in home country, we make sure you're okay. But I probably should have gotten the vodka. That probably would have helped, especially after those losses I took.
I got out in
time. I got out in time, man. I got out.
Playing while drunk is not going to help your record.
You know, it helps get out moves. I become loose, and I can get my Hadoukens. I can get my Shoryukens, my Tatsumakis. Ryu never looked so good.
We don't need to know what you do in the bathroom.
Wow.
Keep your looseness to yourself, please.
Wow. This is all I got to say. Wow. But yo, what's up with the Lipton bag, bro? Please elaborate.
It's a tea bag.
It's
do I really need to elaborate? It kind of speaks for itself.
So, okay. All right. Since you're on the teabagging topic, please explain to those that have tuned in teabagging.
Okay. Teabagging is essentially when in a fighting game you mash down several times in a row, which is technically gesturing, putting your bag in someone's face. Like that. Yeah.
like this.
It's obviously considered a very disrespectful thing by many. I don't like it myself, but this kind of tea I'm fine with.
So you've been drinking a lot of Lipton tea bags. I got it. Okay. So you get tea bagged a lot. We understand. All right. So with that, I'm going to introduce our next guest.
I don't drink the tea bag, thank you. You trying to make this an R-rated stream? No, Rob, I am terrible with tech. We all know this. You know this. In fact, you especially know this.
Well, that said, what does it take for you to rage quit? Or what happens? Have you come close to rage quitting?
In a fighting game, not to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
I have definitely rage quit at least a different type of game, but not a fighting game.
Interesting. What game have you rage quit other than a fighting game?
StarCraft.
They pissed you off that much, huh?
Well, when you're playing a free-for-all map and you have like the other 3 players all ganging up on you at the start, there's no way to fend that off unless they're completely incompetent. So quit out.
I see. And fighting games?
No. To my knowledge, I have never rage quit a fighting game.
Kind of hard to believe.
I know, but as people will find out tonight, I have kind of a moral code of honor in fighting games that I stick to.
Okay. All right. So you want to save that for later when we have
Sure do. I figure when we have all 4 casters on, we'll each bring up our own because I'm sure everybody has a code of conduct.
Okay. Now, who should we bring up next?
Well, you have 2 choices.
I know. That's the beautiful part. Oh, see, even Easy Market says he rages. He rages on, bro. He rages.
Well, what Easy Market does is not necessarily quit out. He just kind of gives up mid-match, which is a different thing entirely.
I've seen that happen where people actually like get frustrated and they'll just stand there. So, okay, you'll see things like people will do infinites and stuff. So, all right, person's get you in an infinite. What do? It's like you're playing, they get you in the infinite. You're in the corner now, and they're just doing their combo, and you're sitting there like, all right, you done? What's going on? You done? Like, what's up? Like, you done? How many times does that happen to you?
Actually, quite a lot, because quite a few of my friends in the community love to use infinites.
Okay, all right.
Kenny, Tonka, Doobie, they all infinite me.
Speaking of Doobie, why doesn't the man defend himself and explain that? He's in the background.
He doesn't think there's anything wrong with it.
Huh?
He doesn't think there's anything wrong with it.
Well, let's hear from the man.
Okay.
How about we bring Doobie on and he can explain his point of view of this.
Okay.
And he can explain whether or not he rage quits or if there's, like some rage in that. Let's find out. What's up, Doobie?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
You
man, Blazt. How y'all doing?
You missed the perfect opportunity to pretend to be muted.
He's not.
That would have been amazing.
See, only somebody like
Nah, Blazt got it right this time.
Well, that's because it's an entirely different program where he literally can't have you muted.
Nobody's asking you. Nobody's talking to you. It's okay. You can leave it alone.
Doobie said, hello, the utility man. He was talking to me.
You know what? Sometimes I feel like I want to rage quit just because I'm talking to you. Like, you drive me nuts sometimes. What is it, boy? He drives you nuts too? Even my dog tells me you drive him nuts.
Well, that's because even your dog can't beat me.
you know what? Lipton bags all the way, full of himself. What can I say?
People in this community know I am not full of myself. I'm a very humble guy, but I do know when I can win.
Okay, okay. Well, Doobie, what is your take on everything else?
Wait, like rage quitting and stuff like that.
Well, he brought up the whole thing with infinities, like infinite combos and whatnot.
Oh, I can understand his reasoning for why he feels the way he feels. And at one point in time, I felt that way as well. But once I started to like actually practice it, now when I get caught in the infinite, I don't get upset. I just be like, okay, it's more of a incentive for me to when I get my turn, not to mess up. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
Okay.
If
I,
a normal player playing against someone that uses it, it can get very frustrating, and you would want to rage quit and give up. Because I had my share moments. Because in the beginning of this community, people like Eddie Good, uh, and a few others that used to do infinites all the time, and they would show you no mercy. So at one point, you just
Cobra
have to
Kai.
ask yourself, like, if I want to get good, especially when we're having tournaments and stuff like that, if I want to get good, I'm eventually always wind up fighting against these people. So either I'm just gonna go ahead and take my weapons and get used to their play style, or actually practice, infinite or something like that to have something to combat what they're doing. And over time I start getting real good with that. So like people that's new to the community, if they play me, they'll see me do the infinites, but it wasn't always like that. It really took time in the lab and practice and discipline when I get infinite by other people, top players, to saying really deal with stuff like that. But I still rage on certain people like Utility Man. Actually, I won't rage on him, but when I play against him, I get upset sometimes with that Dowsum and how he plays because he's very grabby, throwy, throwy.
The
He's got
That
throw.
I
love.
will probably
He's got
like
love for
not
you.
play him for a while. Like I'll be like,
He's
yeah, we'll play a match and and it'll be a week to go by because it's just like, man, I don't want to deal with that grabbing shit right now.
he,
You know what I'm saying? But it's all good though.
he's got that love for you, bro. That's what it is. He's
My
got that love for you
I
to
guess my
But
compare.
throws
he's
are
a
going to
real
be a
good player.
weekly
So
thing.
So we're
But he's
talking
real good, man. I
infinities.
don't feel that way unless you're a good player. If you're not that good to get me to the point where I'm like, ugh, it's just that just shows a testament to your skill. If I'm getting upset or you're getting playing those mind games with me where I'm getting frustrated, it just shows that you're a real good player.
So what you say a good thing is not to get thrown, not to get caught in a infinity combo. Would you say
Hmm.
those are more things that an approach to when you're playing against higher level skilled players that do that? Would you say that's something more or less that you try
Hmm.
to do in an actual match? Because I'll be honest, when it comes to my own
Yeah.
self, I try not to. Now, when it comes to fight game etiquette and other things, I try not to. Yes, I will admit I've rage quit in my life before, um, and I'm talking
Hmm.
years ago and stuff like when I was a kid. Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. We're gonna move the plane this way, then we're gonna go this way, then that way, then up, then down. Let's go up and around. Come on, utility man, do it. Come on, utility man. Let's go. Utility,
What?
utility, utility.
What are you doing?
We're doing the dance
We are? Why?
because
That is
are
not at all what I was
you've
doing.
been walking like an Egyptian, bro. That's what you've been doing.
This is Egyptian? Not even close. This is more like Vanna White than Egyptian.
Oh, okay. I get it. You want to be Madonna, so we're gonna rename his name to
I'm
Madonna now. Is
I'm
that what
going
we're
to
doing?
let you buy a vowel. How about an O?
Okay, all right. Anyways, as I was saying, I have rage quit before, but nowadays, not really so much. And then the other thing is, like we were talking about infinities and stuff. I have, like, Utility Man has a moral of code. I sort of do with that respect as well. I can infinite, I can do all those things, but I prefer the game where you don't do those things, because I do feel like that takes away some kind of fun. Because the game was initially or originally not designed to be that way. It was originally designed so that you would have kind of like a sun and the moon type of situation. It's like opponent will attack, then the other opponent will attack. There's some blocking involved, countering, so on and so forth. It opens up, creates more of a dynamic, creates more of a interesting game, if you will. Now, we're talking infinities. Now, there's also throws. There's other things that are cheap tactics. So we have another guest in the background. I've got my man ShaftOfPleasure in the background. I like to bring him out because here we are talking about infinities, and we started talking about throws with Utility Man being a cheap something with them throws.
You
All
are
right,
going to
Doobie?
make this an R-rated stream.
I kept it, hold it back.
Yeah,
but you know
he's
what?
a throw whore.
Oh, he said it. He said it.
I admit it.
But the one that likes to give it is my man, ShaftOfPleasure. What's going on, brother? Shaft? Uh-oh. Shaft has been having some technical difficulties. He had some issues with the internet. So let's see if we can bring him back on. Let's try it again.
The Shaft is having
Shaft
technical
of Pleasures.
What's up, guys?
Bro, are you having technical difficulties today?
Hey, what's going on,
It's storming like a mofo here. It's snowing, so yeah.
I heard.
It's been spotty all day. But Blast, that intro had me cracking up, man. That was hilarious.
Thank you.
I've definitely felt that way before. Taking the goddamn points.
This bastard, like I'm joking. I can't get up my stuff. What is going on?
Yeah, my buttons don't work. That's why I can't win. Yeah.
Well, I know
I know
somebody's
that.
buttons the other day weren't working.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he wants to talk about that later. But
I mean, I can't make an excuse for it because I signed up in advance knowing, so it's on me.
Yeah, Utility Man, I think you and me are going to disagree a lot tonight. Two things right out the gate. First of all, Lipton tea, not very good. I drink loose leaf tea. I drink the good stuff. None of that bagged crap, okay? So tea bags aren't in my life, but tea bagging is definitely part of my life.
oh,
Since you're a StarCraft player, you understand APM, actions per minute, right? You're trying to keep your hands warm. And if you can't keep me busy enough during a fight where I have enough APM available to teabag, I'm keeping my APM up.
It's just the first good image I found. Like, you didn't have
He's
to be
lazy.
Lipton.
he's lazy. He's
I'm
lazy.
not
He admits he's
lazy. No.
He's lazy.
No, I had to pick something that didn't have too much white in the background because then I didn't know how the virtual background worked.
Well, when you're talking to ShaftOfPleasure, you're gonna expect some white to come at you, bro. Just saying, like what do you?
You say you're trying not to make this an R-rated stream. I don't believe you.
I didn't say anything. I'm just talking
I
about
don't-
factual
I
data.
don't believe you.
I'm just a very specific person, and I'm providing facts. That's what these streams are for. They're informative and things to give information out to people, and
You are providing facts.
we are providing
This is what
facts.
you're saying. Okay, I have a
That's
fact
right.
for you
Oh, boy.
for your Christmas gift.
What? No,
thing-
you can't. No. You gotta rotate it.
There.
Oh, you got it early. Oh,
You want a fact? It sucks.
oh wait. Turn it. Turn it.
That's not going to show up.
Bring it
Utility
back.
Man, you said that's the re-gift?
Oh, it's not coming up so well.
See, I told you. It's
You
something I
gotta-
should send back.
He
to
got a Blanca Funko Pop from Santa Blast. Santa
So-
Blast sent it with love for Utility Man to have his favorite character as a toy.
So I got something for you.
Utility man said that's a regift. He gonna send that to somebody else.
Just for you, Blast. Just for you. My first teabag ever.
I think I'm
wow,
gonna
he actually
need,
came with a tea bag.
I think I'm going to actually need some more water after that whole segment of rage quitting. I think I lost my voice. So I'm going to step away. I'm going to let one of you take the lead, whichever. Don't just don't just jump in, fellas. It's all good.
Okay.
But one of you should. One of you
well,
should.
on the topic of
I'll be back.
on the topic of losing your points, that's a benefit of getting a new cab. I don't have any points on the MVC2 cab, so I can't lose any points. I have 0 experience. I'm like 5-50, so I've won some games, but I lost all my points.
Well, you also won't lose your points if you don't lose.
Yeah, that's true too. But I'm not. I'm doing.
I'm
pretty
sorry,
much-
Blast. I'm sorry. I know you're not here to defend that.
I'm doing pretty much the opposite on the versus cab right now, though. I'm not very good. But I don't rage quit. I'm happy to lose over and over and over.
No, I understand. I'm sure if I came over to the big blue cab, I'd have that same issue because I'm no Street Fighter master.
And I actually wanted to draw a distinction.
Oh yeah.
On rage quitting. So are we talking about after, like, if somebody loses one game or wins the first one and loses the second one and quits? Or are we talking about if somebody is going to lose but then quits before you get credit for the win?
The
I think it could be a combination of all those things, man. To be honest with you, because it's been times where you can really tell when somebody's rage quitting, like especially if you beat them real bad and they don't want to play again after that. So you can tell, like, man, they don't want to try again. Or if they beat you and then you beat them real bad the next time, and if they do get a win, they're going to quit and just while they're ahead. You know what I'm saying? So you can really tell.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that, and I'm guilty of quitting, before finishing a first to 5 or first to 10. I'm guilty of that, but I've never like quit and not gave someone credit for the win. Like quitting early. I've never done that.
Oh yeah. I haven't done that either. I mean, well, I'm gonna be honest. I'll race quit, but it usually be on those unknown players, like a player number something something something. Because I know it's one of the guys that know how to play, but they'll play on a dummy account. So if they do take an L from me, it won't count on their main account. So I would race quit on those guys because I don't play on those player number things. Like you'll know if I'm playing because I'll play on my main account. So I'll definitely a race quit. I'll cut that cab off so quick.
See, that's not cool, bro. That's not cool. It's not cool.
Hey, listen, it happens. I'm human, and I'm not going to act like that I never rage quit before. Now, if I'm playing against you guys, like Utility Man, for example, I'll be on some, like, especially if he's really spanking me, I'm like, man, let me hurry up and get to this 10 so we can go quit playing this game. You know what I'm saying? I won't rage quit on him, but I'll be like, man, let's hurry up and get this over with. You know what I'm saying? But then there's some people like Just Rich that I don't care how many times I lose, I'm gonna keep playing until I get a win, and he knows that. So what he'll do is he'll come up with a lame excuse why he don't want to play no more. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's because I'm not giving him any kind of excitement by playing because he'll be our matches usually be 10-0. You know what I'm saying? But I'm more of the determinate. I'm on the determination side. Like I don't care how many times I lose, I just want one win off him, and I can never get it. But
so
it is what it is.
So he decides just to give you some excuse that he needs to leave. Because it seems to me
he'll make up some kind of lame excuse like he got to tie his shoes, all type of shit. So,
tie his shoes.
It seems to me
he knows that I'll keep playing until I get that win.
Well, if he really wanted to upset you, all he's got to do is let you win one time on purpose and then leave.
Ouch.
Like I think that would be.
Well, yeah, he could do that, but then I don't respect stuff like that, man.
Well,
I really
that's
don't.
What I
that
mean.
would make me want to quit too. If I know you're a good player, if I know you're a real good player, like Eddie Good, Just Rich, Morpheus, and I'm always struggling against you, and then you make it seem like it's too easy that I get that win. I don't even want to play because I don't like that. I like for someone to give me their best because I'm giving my best and I'm really trying to win. So if you're gonna be on some lame stuff like, man, I don't really want to play him like that, I'm gonna just let him win, then I won't respect that, and I won't respect you as a player because I don't do that stuff. You know, people might think I'm hard on them when I'm playing, but I mean, that's the only way you get better. And just to piggyback off what Blast was talking about earlier, like when I get infinited and stuff like that, and this just all the new players in the community and stuff like that, don't get frustrated. Don't quit because what you need to do is if you're losing and you know you're gonna lose, just look for patterns. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that every player does all the time. In certain situations, certain setups that they always do. And just look for that to try to take advantage of that stuff. And you'll never ever get used to someone's play style if you always quit like one match, two match. You gotta get used to how a person plays in order for you to counter attack. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
gotta take those L's.
There might be some valuable lessons in those L's, like learning like what cheese they're using to beat you over and over. Like if you could just figure that one thing out, could greatly enhance your game. I wanted to touch on something you said before that though.
Exactly.
You were saying, you know, when you feel like people are messing around. I pick a lot of different characters, and I know some people perceive that as like I'm not trying my best because I'm not playing Chun-Li every game or whatever. But I still try my hardest. I just like playing all the characters. So I don't know. How do you feel about that? You feel like that's
personally,
well,
I'll let
I'm
Doobie go
just speaking
first,
for
then.
me. Like personally, I know the good players, you know what I'm saying? So I will spectate your match. You know what I'm saying? So I already know who's your main guy, who you're really good with, this, that, and the third. So if I'm playing you and you're not using your main, then I won't expect you to be like if your best guy was Ryu and you're playing with Blanca, I won't expect you to do some outlandish stuff unless you displayed that before. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand that you just experimenting and trying a new character because playing against someone that you think is a low risk of losing to, what I'm saying, you'll want to do stuff like that. But if I know you're good with Blanca and you playing trash with him like you're a noob, then I'm like, man, okay, he's not giving me his best. He's sandbagging.
I hear you.
Me personally, I actually don't mind people picking various characters as long as I can tell they're still trying. Everybody's going to start out somewhere. Nobody's going to be good with the entire cast their first time. And if they've chosen to play that character because they want to build up skill playing me, I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because part of my ethos,
and I feel like in the community, everybody done played against everybody multiple times, so you got a feel of what to expect when you're playing this person. So you can tell off the bat if they're playing lame or they're being serious. Unless it's a new person that you have no clue how their play style is, you can pretty much tell if they're being lame or they're being serious.
Yeah. Part of my ethos, the reason I ask is on my main account, I'll stick with my main characters. I'll try my hardest. But on my alternate account, I like to. So this is on Big Blue, right? For usually hyper fighting, where it's arcade mode. So it goes to a different character stage, and until you play on that character, it won't move the stage. And so I'll pick whatever character, whatever stage we go to. I'll pick that character, and then just like move through all the levels. And that's just how I play on my alt until we get to Bison stage, and then I'll pick whoever I want. And that's just what I do.
I've never heard of anyone doing that, actually.
Yeah.
And part of it's because I get annoyed of like Chun-Li or Dalsim stage over and over and over. People play like a full 10-game set on one level. I'm
Zangief stage is another one.
I'm like, those freaking elephants, man. I can only play on that stage like 2 times before I have to switch,
Wait. How are you seeing Zangief stage so often? You playing HDR champion constantly? Not that many Zangiefs.
No, I'm just saying that's just one of the stages that comes up a lot when you're playing. You know what I'm saying? The USSR.
It's a common
and all that
one.
stuff. That Chun-Li. Yeah, this is a common match. It's a common stage background.
So on Street Fighter, I know this is the case for Super Turbo, but depending on what characters get picked will determine like what level gets chosen first. And so depending on who the popular characters are, you'll see the same stage a lot.
Yeah, I guess we don't really have that problem with the Marvel games for the most part because not every
No,
character
because
has a
it's
stage
always
specific to
random with
them.
the background.
I, you know,
Hmm.
I know somebody in the community that actually within the home arcade community that actually specifically plays just to piss people off. I'm sworn to secrecy, so I can't reveal this person's identity.
You only know
But
one person like that? Really?
I wish I could tell you how many I know, but it's one particular person that I'm going to talk about specifically that does it constantly, and that's his sole purpose of what he does when he plays, and that's his way of entertainment, and also causing kind of like a drama, causing kind of like a uh, how do I put this? More keeping it interesting, if you will, because it's true. It's like some players. So like everyone has different reasons for things. So like this player particularly, his sole purpose is he wants to teabag. He wants to get a rise out of you, and if he can get a rise out of you, he will enjoy it. So like, I don't know if Kong Russ is watching. There was a particular player that was picking on him and actually teabagging him, and then he he actually went on Kong's stream, played him during his stream purposely, and teabagged him and all of that. So Kong even had a whole show dedicated to that. That's the individual that I'm talking about, but he purposely does that just to get a rise, just to get, for him that's entertainment. For him that's what he's playing for, to have fun. And while to some people who are playing and being competitive and all this other stuff, they take it more seriously, while others are doing it just for the sheer fact of just being funny, just for the trying to get a rise out of someone, just to see if they can actually do that, and then just to get a laugh. There's people out there that do those type of things too, and I just wanted to throw that out there, because I feel like the whole thing with raging and also getting angry or emotional rather about the actual game that you're playing, there it's because I can understand how that happens with regards to be feeling emotional. It's like you get attached to your game. Here you are, you're practicing, you're developing some kind of an ethic, you're actually grinding, you're working on your craft, whatever it may be. And here you are, you spent countless hours. Yes, I got this combo down. Yes, I got this. Yes, I know how to do this. And then it's like frustrating. You're out there, you're playing against people, and some part of you knows that you can do better, or some part of you starts to feel like, no, this is wrong, this is not right, this person is taking advantage of things, he's doing tick throws, or he's doing regular throws, or he's doing infinities, and then he's teabagging. What the f? These are things that happen, but you have to keep yourself composed. I mean, it depends on the person, really. Like I try to keep myself composed, this like as hard as it can be sometimes, because I'm human just like everyone else. I do have that emotional connection to some of these games, especially Marvel vs. Capcom is my favorite game. I could care less if whether or not I win or lose in any other one except that one, maybe. So I enjoy that game the most. So if I'm losing or whatever, sure. I mean, I could take a loss. It's not a big deal. But at the same time, I'm like, oh no, why did I lose? So it also, I feel like when it comes to an actual player or someone that's playing these games, I feel like there is some kind of a emotional connection, because you develop that. And as a result, it's like you're holding on to those things. And that's what causes, I believe, the whole rage quit, so on and so forth. I mean, that's just my take on it. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, I think it depends on the person. Kind of goes back to what
Um,
Doobie said earlier about,
yeah, yeah.
if it's a random white
Mhm.
account, but it's a good player, it's frustrating for them taking games off you. But if it's one of your friends
Yeah.
and he's on his main account and he's getting you with like Zangief tick throws over and over, and you taught him how to do that, like I'm loving every second of it. I'm like, oh yeah, grab me, it's great.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like if somebody I showed something and then I see them doing it and I'm like, oh, they just did that on me. Okay, like for me it's kind of like, oh wow, okay. For me I would be actually like unexpected and then at the same time gratifying, like you said. So that's quite interesting.
Hmm.
That also comes back to like some Street Fighter lore. So like Akuma, for example, I know he was like the poster child of the thumbnail. Uh, the story is that he ends up killing his master, Gotetsu. And when he kills his master, he takes his beads. But prior to taking his beads, his master actually smiles and grins because he did the Satsu, he did the raging demon, if you will, on his master, and he kind of surpasses his master. You know, that at least from what you read in the comics and you read in the story and so on and so forth, like in Street Fighter lore, they talk about that. So it's true with the whole master student. It's like, does the student surpass the master? So, okay. But in terms of fight game etiquette, I feel like it depends on every single player has different levels of like they'll excuse me, I lost my voice. I lost my voice from earlier. Um, I feel like your level of composure is also what defines you with regards to how much you're willing to take, how much you're willing to deal with, and how you proceed and how you deal with winning, losing, what's fair, what's not fair. Those are things that also define a character. And that's the whole fight game etiquette. Like, you win or lose, you respond, good game. Like no matter who you're playing, you just like good game. Like I've had fights where I'm
Hmm.
like gun ho and I'm like ready to whatever with a person and I'm like good game, and that's it. And towards the end, it's like the person will respond, "Oh man, you use macros or you use a cheat or you use a hack," and I'm like, "No, I don't." You know. Oh, can we get some mods? I got some bro, I'm good. I don't need any private dating chats. Thank you though.
I already took care of it.
You did? All right, thank you. Thank you.
But
Thank you.
actually, I want to comment on something. You mentioned the good game thing. And this is something I found incredibly annoying about you. Stop saying good game after every single game. Just wait for the set to end and then say it. You don't have to say it every time.
Hmm.
I
Why?
know it was a good game.
Hmm.
Like, I respect you. You can wait till the end.
Hey,
No, but
I
there's
ain't
three
go. I ain't gonna
games
lie. Sometimes it don't be a good game. Like for example,
for you.
staying against
Like,
Utility Man, Tonka, and like Kenny. They'll whoop my ass, right? Especially Tonka with that Captain America on Marvel superheroes. Like I can't
Okay.
get in, but that's my boy, and he whooped my ass. He was like, "Yeah, good game." I'm like, "Yeah, good game," but the whole time I was like, "Ugh, I couldn't get in. I couldn't do nothing to you, man. He just respect me with that shield all the damn time." But you my
Okay.
boy, so yeah, good game, but
well,
it wasn't
that's
really a good game. It
well,
was a
that's when
bad
you
game
just
for me.
say it was a good game for you, at least.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think
whenever
so.
I say good game, it
I
depends.
mean, he's
Like
a
for
good
me
player, so
personally,
it is what it is.
it's
I'll get you next time.
I- I'll s-
Okay.
I'll say it when it's like close, when it's actually like a really good game. I'll say that to you. And
Mhm.
we've had a lot of good games, Utility Man.
Yes, we have. And I'm not saying I get mad about it. I'm just saying that you don't need to say it every single match.
I don't. Not every.
And you're not the only one that does it. There are a lot of people guilty of it. I'm just not one of those people. Like, I started off on Kylera and people didn't chat while you were playing
Yeah.
until the very end. And then they said good game, and you said good game to them, regardless of how it went. That's what I'm
Yeah.
used to.
Nowadays, it's not exactly like that. At least not
Well,
in Fightcade and stuff, because it's like people will people will say good game and then they'll be like, no, like you cheated or use some kind of an excuse, like something just to throw at you, just so they
Well-
can kind of get you back into the game, so they could try and beat you again, or like, you know, if they lost, that's really what they're throwing out there, just so they can get you back, so that they can try and get more like okay, that didn't count. This is gonna count now, you know, like something like that in their mind. Like people have pride, bro. That's the whole thing. That's why we're having this talk, because people come in there with a lot of pride. Like I said, they spend the time perfecting their craft and playing these games, thinking that they're the hottest thing, and they come in there and they long behold, it's like, nope, you're not the hottest thing. You find out that you're good or whatever, but or you find out that, you know, you still have things that you got to learn or whatever. It doesn't matter. I feel like we're always constantly growing and learning. I mean, that's what life is in general. So why not apply the same kind of thought process or methodologies to the game? That's just my take on this. You know, like if you want to get good, practice more, learn more, figure out why you lost. Sure, okay, fine. This person does infinity combos. Okay, so your goal should be not to get caught by those, or be there before that person and figure out what it is that they're doing to get in, so that they are executing those infinity combos, to prevent them from executing them. Those should be like some of the things that you're trying to work on. I mean, it's hard. Some high level skill players, they really know how to get it on you and stuff, but you work on it, and that's what's part of the game. You go back and forth, and here you are.
Well, let's be fair here. When you say to counter infinites, the strategies just don't get hit. But isn't that kind of a duh thing? Like, of course, don't get hits.
Yeah.
There's not
Some
really
of it is
another
Well, you
strategy
can ask questions
there.
like you can ask, because one thing I like about the community is you can ask questions. I mean, a lot of people don't, because they probably feel salty. They won't ask questions to the person they was playing about it. But you can be like, "Hey, man, good game. Like, how you always open me up like that? Like, what do you be doing to to catch me like that? Because there might be some unknown." Unknown tactic that you're not privy to, that they're abusing. Like, for example, when I've started playing Marvel vs. Capcom 1, I didn't know anything about guard breaks, and Morpheus would abuse that every time. Like every time my second character comes in, I'll block his first hit, and he'll hit me with the second attack, and it just open me up. And I'm like, I never could understand why he kept doing that to me, until one day I asked him, like, "Yo, like, how come you always be catching me with that? Like, I'm blocking, but I'm still getting hit." And then that's when I found out this game got guard breaks. So it's just sometimes you just gotta swallow your pride and just ask, like, "Hey, man, what are you doing, or what can I improve on to stop you from doing that?" You know what I'm saying? So it
There's
is what it
different
is.
there's
Don't just
different
avoid the
exploits.
player.
Yeah.
I
There's different
really,
exploits.
Mhm.
I wish you hadn't brought that up, because I'm going to look like such a jerk now. I know it in advance, but I was playing a member of our community the other day. A lot of people know him as Gibby, and I was beating him constantly.
Mhm.
And he would ask me
Poor
about
Gibby.
something that I'm doing, and my response to him was, "Well, if I tell you, then you're going to know how to stop it. Why would I want to teach you how to stop it?" So, yes, I'm a jerk. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I'm a jerk.
Oh, you one of
I,
those players, man.
I'm not a
Step
teacher.
one.
I'm a bad
You want to
teacher.
keep that
Step
advantage on
one.
him.
I'm a
Admit
bad
to
teacher.
your faults. Step two. Be a troll and don't share. No, that's the thing. You're gonna find people. People are people. Some people will share these things, and some people won't. You know, you'll have people like Utility Man who keeps to
Because
himself and does
I
not
feel like if
share.
you don't share, because you're afraid to lose that advantage over that person.
Utility
If I'm
Man.
always abusing this one thing on you, you can't stop it, and I tell you it, then especially if we're always a close match, like we're always close. When I
Yeah.
tell you something, it's like giving you the tools to beat me. So I'm gonna just hold back on certain information so I can still have the advantage. It
Utility
is what
Man.
it is.
You are the last dragon. You possess the power of glow. No. Utility Man. Repeat after me. I will not be this way. I will share. Sharing
No.
means caring.
No.
Sharing means caring.
I am perfectly
Sharing
willing
means caring.
to help anyone out that asks that I can help. But if your question is, how do you beat me? Why would I tell you that? I'm not going to tell you that.
I mean, look, maybe like the week before a tournament, I'm not going to be giving people tips like that. But right
Okay,
after
well,
the tournament, I'm an open book. I'm like, hey, everyone, you want to learn how to beat my tick throw with Dalsim? I'll tell you how, because that's going to force me to get better.
Yeah, exactly.
In my
That forces
defense,
you
I was
to
just
get
about
better.
to say that. I was just about to say
Utility
that, Shaft.
man
I was just
is-
about to say that, man.
is
it
lazy.
was right before a tournament, so at least give me that.
That's
No.
fair if it was right before a tournament.
No.
But
Okay,
yeah,
okay, all right.
I think the people who lack the mental fortitude and are usually the people with attitude problems and rage quitters, they're going to perform worse in high stakes situations like tournaments, right? The people who
Yes.
are well-known rage
Yes.
quitters,
Yeah.
I either don't see them at all in tournaments, or when they do, they're super emotional and you can tell they're having issues, right? They're kind of berating people. They're upset about the bracket or whatever, you know? And so, and the other time when emotions are real high is when you just made it to like rank number 9 or 10. And so like every loss you're getting off the leaderboard and every win's putting you back up. Oh man, that's when I
You're
care about my
struggling.
wins and losses the most.
You're
For sure.
struggling.
I limit, like I'll cherry pick my matches a little bit. I'm super guilty of that.
So status means a lot to you guys. Is what you both basically saying. Utility man by not sharing, and you Shaft by not playing people or cherry picking, like you said, in matches.
I'm not really guilty of that. Outside of when I'm numbered 9 or 10. Like right now I'm like number 6.
Wait,
And I'll fight
contradicting yourself here a little.
No. I'm saying it's when you're bouncing off and on to the bracket is when I care. Like once I have a nice lead, I'm happy to share that experience and drop back down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just so like, I know because when I was kind of in that whole ranked mode mindset, if you will, I would do the same thing. So I'm guilty of that same thing. I'm not gonna, deny that at all. So if you're actually grinding and you're trying to get up on that leaderboard, you're obviously, like you said, you're cherry picking certain things and you're playing different, you're obviously not going to try and play somebody that you're going to lose to. You would want to play somebody that you would likely win against. Like let's be real. But when you're playing against, like I remember when I played Marvel vs. Capcom on the PlayStation Network, it was always random. You don't know who you're going to play. So like you would get somebody and it's like, all right, granted, you get somebody that you've played before and you know that person will actually beat you. You could drop, you can cancel right before the match. It won't affect your points. It won't affect their points. Those are things that I'm pretty sure people do in ranked matches. Like if they know that a player is going to beat them, they'll probably drop. Whereas if they don't know, they'll play that person. And then that's the thing you see a lot of. It's like they will play a round or two or mid-game, whether it's versus, whether it's Street Fighter or any other game for that matter. It's like they'll be in a game and then they'll just quit halfway once they've determined, okay, this person is better than me. I'm not winning this match. They will rage quit as well. So like I feel like sometimes rage quitters are also people that care too much about that status.
Yeah.
They don't want to share those points. They don't want to lose those points. They don't want to lose that status of theirs. That's also what I feel like that a lot of those rage
Yeah, you
quitters
Chelsea
do.
man.
What? I never rage quit.
But that's the whole thing is like, for
No, I
like,
say you don't want to lose that status. That's why you wasn't sharing those tips and tricks with Gibby.
If I didn't want to lose my status, I wouldn't be playing Kenny in Marvel Superheroes. I know that man is going to sit there and
No, but we're
infinite
talking
me
about
20
Gibby, though.
matches straight. Hey, that was right before the World Heroes Perfect tournament. I wasn't going to tell him how to beat me. I might come up against him in the bracket.
So I'm going to stop you guys for this. What is this guy talking about? Pac-Man? Rage quit in Pac-Man for real?
Mhm.
What the hell is he talking about?
I didn't know. I don't know you could rage quit off that game, man. I didn't know you
Yo,
could do that.
It's probably
explain
that thing
yourself,
where
Mr. Wolfman.
it's probably that thing where the ghost runs into Pac-Man. It's whoa, 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 whoa. I assume
Okay, and from there you rage quitting and you're exiting out and you're saying, no, I don't want to lose. So
No.
you leave.
Some people might, punch the screen and walk out.
I mean, you're still
You
playing
see it
until your end of your quarter that you put in the machine.
Off Pac-Man, though.
See, that's my response
Yeah,
to
I
that
can see
too.
myself getting like rage quitting off Pac-Man. Bro.
Well, back then when we didn't have that many games in the arcade, I could see some people raging on Pac-Man.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
But I do want to draw a bit of a distinction with something Shaft mentioned as far as what you consider a rage quit. Now, I don't consider it a rage quit if they leave after the round is over to where it's already counted. I only consider it a rage quit if they leave before the match is counted.
Okay.
So I do have times where I will have somebody that I beat continuously, and then they win one match and start taunting and teabagging me, and I leave after the round because I don't want to deal with people who do that. I don't want to play you if you're going to do that.
Okay.
Mm. What's up, War? I think it
going on,
depends
War?
on the situation. Like, for example, me and you. Every time me and you play Utility Man, we always go to 10. And let's just say,
Yeah.
like, for the first 5 matches, you whipping my behind, and then all of a sudden I just be like, good game, and I stop playing you. You could tell I kind of rage quit because I'm getting trashed. We usually go to 10 all the time. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden he stops at 5 after getting demolished for like the last 4 rounds. So it's just
Well,
like you can kind of tell.
I can
Now if
tell
you're a
you're
random
raging.
person and I beat you real bad and then you quit, then you can be like, all right, you just
I mean, I can kind of tell you're raging when you go real quiet where you don't want to say anything, and then 10 minutes later I see you complaining to Blast about me throwing. Yeah, I can kind of tell.
Wow. He doesn't complain. He hasn't complained. What
Yeah,
you see
man.
him
I mean,
complaining?
listen,
Where do
it
you
gets
see him
serious
complain?
that time. Like it gets serious sometimes. It's just like,
So
ugh.
one of the
I guess it
behaviors.
gets frustrating because I just don't know how to counter that. It's like everything I try to do is just he always like one step ahead. That's that frustrating mind game situation. It's like,
That's
dang,
the
what can
best
I do
chess
to
match.
stop this? And it
That
just
also
keeps I
helps you
tried
grow
this, it
though.
don't work. I tried that, it don't work.
So you got to think out of the
Yeah, I
box.
know. That's what I was saying earlier. Like you got to go through those growing pains to get better. You can't just quit or just stop playing that person completely. If you want to beat them, especially if you plan on entering in these tournament events, like they're gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you might as well get used to how they play now. Because when it's on in the tournament, you gotta show improvement. You can't expect somebody to go easy on you when money's on the line. Like
Speaking
that's
of
unheard of.
Easy Market says Utility Man is not a throw whore. He's more of a throw opportunist.
I mean, if you consider a throw
That's
opportunist somebody who throws every opportunity they get, yeah, but I think most people call that a throw whore.
When I first played him, I thought
and it's
it came out by accident. I don't like he was just like mashing the button and trying to get me or whatever. And I was like, oh, he's just accidentally throwing me. That's what I thought at first. And then I came to realize some of it is not accidental. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, you're just throwing
Yeah, I mean-
that out there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Great choice of words.
also it's just like you gotta understand that your characters that you're playing against, like Dowsum and like Chung Li, they have like high throw priority. You know what I'm saying? So 9 times out of 10, they're gonna throw you before you get a chance to throw them. Especially Dowsum, like he always gets the throw. So it's just like you
You
gotta
know,
understand your matchups too.
Yeah. I'd like to actually bring someone on to talk about some of this and get their insight on this as well. Uh, Someone that we all know, and I want to hear what they have to say about this as well. But we'll give them an opportunity to get joined in. You know, I think there are many reasons that cause people to do these things. You know, whether it's a throw, an infinite, or you know, other things that could occur is
Oh, Rob
technical.
abused those throws too, man. Rob, he'll abuse it too, man.
Rob who? Rob 2D?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna
Okay.
find that
Yeah, Rob
anybody
to
who
me,
is
like when
really
I play
good
against him, he
at
plays with Ken and Ryu. Yeah,
Well,
he'll abuse that. Like he'll rush you down, punch you, and then
uh-huh.
go for the throw. Like he
well,
always does that all the time.
it's X-Men
Well,
for Street Fighter. You have to be good at throws in that game.
well, before I
Yeah, he'll abuse that. Trust me.
well, let me actually, speaking of our extra guest for this evening, let me bring him out. This is my good friend. I'll let him introduce himself. All right. What's going on, buddy?
Hey guys.
I see the matrix behind you.
Yeah. I thought I'd be, I was gonna become I was like, I'm gonna become the Hulk and not be on the stream.
You might want to mute the stream on your
I
mic.
can hear
Mute the
you.
stream in the background because it's echoing.
Yeah. I was legit wearing this shirt today. I didn't just put it on for the stream.
That's good. No, bro, you want to mute the stream or put on headphones. Oh, he muted his mic. Give him a second.
What's
He's
up,
doing
Rob?
it now. He's doing
So-
it now.
While you can't talk, I should probably let you know Doobie was just bad mouthing you, so you might want to say
He
something.
has an opportunity
No, I
to
wasn't.
speak
I was
up
just-
now.
I was just
He
taking
can
facts.
he can say what he has to say. I am going to run to the technician's closet and I will be right back. But I know my man, Mr. Code of Conduct, will lay the smack down right now. So I'm gonna let him talk once he actually just mutes YouTube. Oh, he left.
Oh, he's got headphone
He
issues.
said he's gonna put some headphones on.
Okay.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question while we wait?
Sure.
I'll be right back, guys.
Mhm.
So one of the behaviors on Big Blue that get people the reputation of a rage quitter is a little bit different from what we've discussed so far. So what they're known for is they'll stay if they're winning, but as soon as they lose one or two, they leave. And you'll see them fighting like a green
Yeah.
belt, and they're a gold or whatever, and they're like 50-0 versus this guy. But if you fight versus him and he wins the first three and then you win one, he'll leave and be like, "Oh, my kids, I have kids."
Yes, I have experienced that on the Marvel cabs.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't
same
didn't
here.
think of that
Like-
until you mentioned it, though.
Those guys all get really bad
It's
raps
same
because it's
here.
like, dude, we all know you're full of crap. We know you, like, everyone's got kids, man. But as soon as you lose, you leave.
I think
Everybody
those are
knows
the
it.
ones that don't want to lose their ranking positions. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like if they play against a great player or a good player or someone's on that level, they won't play them as much as someone they know they can just destroy. You know,
Yep.
I mean,
but
the
you,
only
you
thing
don't
with
you
that
don't get good
is
that way. You know,
Mhm.
if they're ranking up that way, eventually they're going to be the target for someone else doing that. Because
Yeah.
eventually they'll be the high rank and somebody will join as a low rank, get a win on them, and then leave.
Yep.
Like,
shout
you
out to the
reap what
player
you
number
sow.
so and so.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what
There's
they
a bunch.
do. I call them gatekeepers.
I could mention a few names that do that, but I won't single anybody out. But it is
Yeah.
very
They
obvious.
keep you off the rank. They'll play with a player account which is a low rank, and they'll beat you and make your points go down. So they keep you from getting on the top 10 and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's
We got a
just
bunch
whack,
of
you know?
those on Big Blue.
You know, another thing
Oh,
that
yeah.
I've seen often on Marvel too, somebody will join in to play me, and they'll pick a basic team, and I'll win. And they'll pick a slightly higher tier team, and I'll win. and then they'll just go full team of 3 top tiers, and if I win that, they quit out. And I've seen so many people do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I wanted to play to have fun,
Yeah.
but it's only fun if I'm winning.
Better now?
Better
so.
now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm an
it
idiot. I had
is, man.
YouTube on in the side, and then I don't usually.
I don't like playing against the players because, like, I'll play you, but then I want to know who I'm beating. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be like those top players that be talking trash a lot, and I can't beat them on their main account, but then I happen to beat them on this player account, and I'll never know. And they'll keep talking trash like I never beat them before. You know? So it's just, that's why I like playing a player account.
And yes, legs, people seriously do that, especially if you're on the top 10.
Well, I guess player accounts are kind of like the NPCs of the cab, you know? Like, it's like people that their ego is so high that they can't exist with their name, you know? So they're just nameless. I don't know. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah, that's a
I'm not as
hilarious
deep as
analogy.
Shaft with his ethos. I haven't thought about this stuff. But,
What's going on, Mr. Code of Conduct?
what's up, Paul?
But if you play the
know,
top players enough, when they do play those player accounts, you can kind of tell who they are, you know, by their play style.
Yeah, it's kind of, it gives it away because you can't play, especially at a high level, without resorting to your tactic. And everybody has like a bag of tricks, not a tea bag or anything, but you know, some people have those as well when they're on those player accounts. But then you're just like, dude, I know it's you, man. Why are you teabagging me on some supposedly random account? Like, I don't know. You know?
He turns around and is like, tricks are for kids.
Yeah, like you be playing like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, right? There's like, I don't know, 30 regular people on that game, you know, at any one time. And then there's like the same guy will go on like 4 accounts and he'll do the same exact spam. It's like, dude, you're the only person that's shameless enough to spam this hard. Like, you can't hide it. And then he'll try to pick like a second character that's not, you know, I'm not gonna put characters out there because then you guys will know who I'm talking about. This community is too small. But yeah, anecdote on anybody, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you've been there. Sometimes you'll be in the chat with them, and they're just like, you know, nothing's going on. You know, but with the fighting. Man, you know what pissed me off? Like, I only got the cap for X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and like, there's enough players in Marvel vs. Capcom to avoid the whole issue. But you go on X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and these guys with the fake accounts, they killed that game. And I don't know what it is. Like, you can't have the secondary character or like what it is, but people are afraid to lose in X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I don't get it. I've seen like rank 2 people go on at that time as a random player account and just spam like Wolverine, Sabretooth. No names again, but you guys know what I'm saying. But like, it's like, or you can't have an ego that's so small that you have to go and lower people to raise your rank. It doesn't make sense. You know, I said that I would this topic.
You get 1 point out of it. Like, you're barely getting any points out of that too.
Yeah, I mean, like, most of us don't care about the rank system on the cabs because it's broken, but you care to a certain level. Like, somebody keeps going on player 1 accounts and like chasing. Now people are going to start doing that to me all the time because I'm saying that. But you know,
well, speaking of the rank system, I think there's one elephant in the room that we should probably mention, and that's people that have 2 accounts and use one to farm the other.
Oh God.
Oh yes.
We know somebody in mind that does that.
I've only seen that once on Big Blue, but I heard that happens on Marvel vs. Capcom by
it does.
I think a lot of people do that. I mean,
a particular person.
I haven't done it. I've honestly been considering it. I'm like, I got like 2 cabs now, you know, like nobody wants to play me in X-Men vs. Street Fighter with their real account. So going back to that, right? And I'm like, should I stoop to that level? No, I'll just stay at like rank 24 or something, whatever. I don't care. Because I'm gonna get knocked down, and then it takes me like 100 rounds for each loss to go back. And just like, yeah. But I'm not gonna do it. So I haven't done that. But it's not like as bad as other things because you have to win a lot to get both of your ranks up, and then the way the system works, you can't abuse it without wasting all your time, which I don't have time to sleep, so I don't have time for that. So, but I could see it being feasible, you know. So.
Seeing that you are a man of science, Mr. Code of Conduct, let me ask you a question. All right. Now, you know the differences between lag or some kind of a delay when you're playing. So, if you're experiencing that against whatever opponent you're playing, are you quitting the game? I'm just curious.
No, I mean, I find that most people's connection actually. One reason I don't play 5K2, like it's actually kind of a better experience overall, right? But
Right.
people aren't in the United States, so the connection there
Mm.
are why I stopped playing. 'Cause I was playing Street Fighter 3, and then the cap came out, and it was like, wow, this is actually I didn't expect online play, so it's better than I could have asked. And then X-Men versus Street Fighter is like, well, everybody's connection is not in South America. I'm in North
Mm.
America.
But you could always just not play those players and just,
Yeah, you could, but in Fight K2, it's like really spammy. Nobody pays attention to chat. So like, if your best friends from like real life aren't online on going on there and they have like their setup and everything, it's like you just get in the
Yeah.
here comes a new challenger sound every 5 seconds, and you're like, nope, 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 and
Yeah, it can get annoying. I agree. I've seen that before too.
you go in the
It's
chat, and you're
just,
like, anybody want around, and there's just like people. Why are they there? They're not even. They just type right past you. So there's some issues with the experience on it.
I think a lot of people are just AFK there too. They'll just set their status to away and just
Mm-hmm.
sit there. I think also some people like to watch other people play, and that's maybe why. But I don't know, to be honest with you. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different ways to look at that.
I
So
mean,
I agree.
like, I guess there's ways to fix it, like have more people learn about it. It's not, especially people on different platforms, but you're never going to get away from the amount of spamminess until they address the user experience on it, unfortunately. So there's
But
like trade-offs with every platform.
it's like, you're playing, let's say, right, and you have one kind of a connection where you don't feel any sort of lag or any sort of input delay or anything like that, and you feel like everything's fine, and all of a sudden mid-match or something like that, something happens. Now, do you quit? Do you think that the person is taking advantage of the situation, or do you let it ride? A lot of times I'll let it ride, like myself, and I'll be like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So like, if it's on the cab, I'm like, oh, this person could be using Wi-Fi, or
Yeah.
it could be a lag switch. We don't know. But for a lot of times, I'm like, all right, it's probably just some spotty Wi-Fi connection. And there's even some players I've talked to directly about this, and discovered that it is because they were on Wi-Fi, as an example. But I know a lot of people that complain that play that player, and they were like, "Oh, he's a lag switcher," and then it turns out he's not. He just has a spotty connection.
That happens. I was accused of that when I first got there, and I
There you go.
I didn't have an Ethernet adapter yet. I was just like, I literally just didn't get it shipped to me yet. I'm playing the cab, and people are like, this is the guy that rage quits all the time. That was kind of like my introduction to the Discord, I think, where some of us hang out. So
Hacker
it was a
man.
little hard to get past some hate, but like legitimately,
Mm.
I was using Wi-Fi, and I have different devices. It happens. So.
There you go. I'm pretty sure you're hardwired now, right?
Yeah, but sometimes I have like 3 cabs, and then I forget. I only have one Ethernet cable, and I'm just lazy, and I'm testing some projects or something. So I'll swap between them, and then I'm like, oh damn, I'm one of those guys now.
Okay.
Especially like Marvel's Capcom 2. Like apparently nobody uses Ethernet. There's an Ethernet adapter in the back, so everybody should use it. So, but I'm like, I don't know. It seems like nobody has discovered that there's an Ethernet adapter in the back of that cab, and I don't know if they don't play fighting games. But you guys, if you're using Marvel's Capcom 2, you're going online. Even for the old versus games, you need Ethernet. Like, just don't not go on with Ethernet. If you do, people try to hide it like on the download. I'm like, but are you on Wi-Fi on the chats and stuff? And they're like, that doesn't matter. I have a good connection. It's just it doesn't it doesn't work like that. You can't even have a good Wi-Fi connection and play a fighting game and like respect your opponent because you're dragging the connection down. There's packet loss and there's other factors. It's not just raw. Like the speed is the factor. So
Yeah.
And most people who play PC games, I guess you would apply the same thing. So why would you apply that to like a single board computer from China? Like why would you do that? And then you'd put a different standard on your 5K2. It makes absolutely zero sense what some people are doing in the chat. Sorry, I have a lot of rants with this stuff because people have I have my own
It's all
habit.
good.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
good, man.
Those people watching
You're
our
good.
chat, they're like, man, that guy's annoying. I'm sure I've done things, but just the same way, I have a lot of them,
Right.
and I'm very open. So
You're good. Number one, you're amongst friends. Number two, you're always informative and you're giving your input and your opinion. The stage is yours, bro. This is what this is. Every single one of us here are just throwing our 2 cents at this and giving our opinion on this whole subject. I mean, aside from these things that we just talked about, what is your opinion on people that do rage quit? What do you think causes them to actually rage quit?
well, I can tell you guys a story, and I don't think it's as great as it seems on the other end. I think these guys are kind of in a purgatory, and it's like a self-enforcing like a circle. So it's like a downward spiral, and it causes them to do it more. And I haven't really. I mean, I did talk about it in the Discord. Like, I'm very open about. Sometimes I do pranks and stuff. I mean, look at my name. It's not even a serious name. Not even when I'm changing the name. It's not a serious name. Everybody thinks it's like I'm the code. No, I'm the coder. The joke is the code wins, not me.
But the code always wins.
The code always wins. Yeah. Like even if I write shitty code, it's gonna,
It's gonna win.
Yeah, it wins at what it does. That's the point. Like for people that are like, this guy is such an egotistical jerk. That's been going on for like a year or two now, and it has nothing to do with.
Nah.
Stop that. Anyway. So, I mean, I am sometimes, but still, you can go both ways. It's usually not for that purpose. But where was I? So there's a story behind that. Like myself, Webhead, and Morphus, well, we had to kind of like help out with to get the input thing even noticed. So we were shipping out like PCBs to people for like kind of like an underground railroad for about 6+ months. A lot of you guys knew about that. I mean, anybody who asked me, pretty much, I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Are you going in with regards to the differences between people that had input lag and people that did not?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying we used to do like there was a little session of time where we were doing the April Fool's prank where we started to mess with that idea and do spin-off pranks for a little bit because we were just, hey, we're already doing like this weird underground railroad and I don't know if you guys remember, but on April 1st, when Morphus 56K, I drove. He lives like a few miles from me, so literally he drove past me because his PCB broke, and I gave him a PCB with the input mod because he's like one of the best players to be like, hey, dude, yeah, you can finally test this because I couldn't just send people the way I was flashing it.
Okay.
And sorry on the tangent. This is a little bit deep story.
Well,
But
I was gonna say because my question to you is, what do you think causes people to rage quit? So,
well, I mean, it happens to them once upon a time. But this story is gonna go somewhere.
okay.
There's
just want to stay on topic. That's all.
So do you remember
Want
like
to keep
Morphus
it
had
on topic?
Yeah, he had a name. It was like Alien, and he switched the
So that
one
was
with
Morphus?
L. Yeah, because the one and the L
Okay.
are the same font. They
Oh,
use, like,
he was alien.
Yeah, the
I
default
used to think
font
it was
on these old
Salvation.
Androids, the one and the L are indistinguishable. Not everybody's gonna, or is it like, yeah, the one and the L are indistinguishable. So like Alien is the same as A1IEN, and like we were like looking at people's names. Should we have access to do certain things? And like Silent Ninja, his name is actually not even Silent Ninja this whole time on the cabin. He's like the #1 player. But anyway, with that in mind, when we had like the match where we convinced everybody we were sub agent because we swapped the name of the one with the L. Anyway, so like that same day, I was messing around with the idea, and Webhead was like, he's the master prank artist, so he was like, let's do this. He came up with the whole thing. And well, the thing about that is like, you know, who's the number one most annoying guy in the cab, especially last year from like Marvel's Capcom X? Because can anybody name him on this stream or anybody in the chat?
You're talking about Sub Agent.
No, I'm not. No. Who's the most annoying rage quitter on the cab?
Oh, I know who that is.
Who is it?
The one that does most of the teabagging and all of that?
I don't know if he does most of
Included?
teabagging. There are some like his teabagging is more innocent, if that gives a hint. But so this guy named MAGA 2024, you know,
Okay.
he's just the
I know
ultimate
what you mean.
troll from the beginning of when the cab started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was back
I'll
around
make you
there.
break.
And his name was I'll Make You Break. And there's so many variants you can have of I'll Make You Break. And I had a way to scan to find what names were available.
Okay.
Morpheus was doing the high score thing. So I wrote a little algorithm to find the permutations of every name that wasn't taken. And I found like I'll Make You Break had the other two not taken. So I got one of them. And I was like, you know, I just changed my regular account to that one. And I swapped the other one because I wanted to look, because I was like, I actually have a pretty high rank and I'm not afraid to lose it. Like the input code, my rank dropped because this is like the whole input thing changed. But yeah, so I went online as I'll Make You Break It as like a gold rank at the time, like the highest I'd ever been. I was like 19, and I lost a lot of it. But
So you were trying to troll this guy.
yeah, I'll Make You Break. But I made sure I went on like when he wasn't online, just to kind of like, I was just messing around, just like, will people actually fall for this? And when I went online, I'd go into matches and people would drop on me like more than 50% of the time. I was surprised. They'd start taunting me, teabagging me, dropping me.
Wow.
And I actually I always hated that guy. And now I kind of feel like, you know, this is what it's like to be in this guy's shoes. And it was
On the opposite side.
But he
experience.
brought it on himself, though.
He did.
Utility Man is right. I have to agree
But
with
I think
him on
like
that. He
maybe
did.
one day, I think that he tries to be better when he notices people are being annoying sometimes. So he'll have phases because he's a good player. It seems he's not a good sportsman, but he's a good player. So I've seen him try for like a week at a time to not do it. But I think what happens is that like he's got himself in this like eternal hell on the cab, where if you're him and you log on, you pretty much you're not going to be able to find a lot of games because people hate you. So even when you are winning, like I couldn't get one match in because people would just quit. And that lasted like that. I was just experimenting before Morph got that cab for like a day, and well, a PCB, and that prank on April 1st went lovely. But yeah, that was my experience. Basically, it's not fun to be a rage quitter. Sorry about the story.
So these are the type of experiments that you're doing
No, I
in
don't
the
really
background.
I don't do that. I was open about it. When I did it, I said, yeah, I was making pretend you could probably look up the chat. Like the time that I made pretend I was like Picasso and I was using AI art to communicate and people thought I was really drawing the one time. If you guys remember that.
I remember that.
I don't do that often, but it's usually for a purpose, like to learn something or to do something, you know, because if you don't do that, you can't figure it out. But I'm never.
So the next oddball thing you see going on in the community, just so you guys know, could be the Kodo.
No, it's not me. I don't have
just saying, with all these experiments,
the reason I'm on this chat isn't about like the
so
fighting
if
game.
you want to rage quit on him, nobody's gonna stop.
Yeah, I mean that, you know.
So
I don't know. I mean, I could be creative, but I don't usually waste my time. Like I've never even tried a lag switch. I looked up for a brief amount of time how someone might do it, but I just don't have time. Even I could write one that does it on software, but it's like, why would someone spend their life doing that? Like you bought a game. So the way I think of it like this is like this. I've said it in the chat. I'm kind of an asshole when I get angry about it, but this game is from what year is our Marvel's Capcom from? Like 1998,
99, I think.
Yeah, it's a game from 1999. It's really niche. I mean, Marvel's Capcom 2 is really popular, but even then, like, how many people play that? Not a lot. Not a lot of people. Even like 1/10 play Marvel's Capcom 1, and then you buy a cab based on Marvel's Capcom 1, and then you spend your time experimenting with a physical lag switch, and you're just sitting in front of a piece of Chinese like manufactured MDF and a PCB there. And there's nothing wrong with that hobby. it's just like when you get your ego up doing that kind of stuff all day, like why aren't you on at least like Call of Duty or something? You know, like something with people on it.
Well,
that
that's kind of
has
like
become like
the
a niche.
person I was talking about before, you know, where he was being accused of being a lag switcher, and then once I interacted with this individual, he explained that he was on Wi-Fi, and then you know I got him to actually move over from Wi-Fi to a network, you know, a hardwired LAN connection, and he stopped lagging. So like, what am I to think? You know, like people were accusing him of being someone who used the lag switch, but it turned out to be that it was really his Wi-Fi connection. So I think a lot of people do have a misconception of those things. You know, that's a possibility,
Don't use Wi-Fi.
and that comes back to the thing that I was saying. Like, I think people
I'll be right back.
have that attachment to the game because they're so vested in it, you know. And I think that's why they react that way, and they rage quit against someone who they think is using a lag switch, if you will, but in reality they have a poor, spotty connection. I think that does happen.
But there are people that do though. Like I've met
Purposely.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a guy.
To lag the game.
I was at the end of a match with like he was doing a Cyclops super in X-Men versus Street Fighter, and he managed to make that super reset when he didn't win 7 times, and there was like a span of like 6 seconds that passed by before it actually rolled all the way back, and he did it again. And the guy must have just practiced quite a lot at doing that because he was very he was able to control it to the level where he could actually end the game
and then rewind it back.
Yeah, he literally like
I know who you're talking about. They've done.
He couldn't do it every time, but he managed to do it 6 times at the end of a game until he actually got the win. At that point, I turned my cab off. That's like one of the points where I just like, screw you, man.
You rage quit.
Like, that's for myself because I didn't say screw you. When I'm at the cab, I say real words, you know. But yeah.
No, but I have a question for Dustin actually, since he's on the Big Blue. He's playing a lot of people on the Big Blue, and he's a very active person on it. Do you experience anything like that on the Big Blue on the home arcade systems on the Arcade 1-Up? I'm just curious because I will get to Fightcade as well. Because I know what people do to lag in Fightcade, and I'll explain and can even demonstrate. But I'd like to hear from Dustin on this one.
I've for sure suspected people of using lag switches.
Okay.
I feel like I can tell the difference of someone who's just having packet loss randomly because of Wi-Fi and someone deliberately who's causing frame drops suddenly when I have them in the corner, you know?
Okay.
Like, I don't know, there's not more data being sent via Wi-Fi because I have them in the corner, but that's when it's lagging, you know, multiple times in a row, multiple rounds in a row.
Have you? Go ahead.
No, I just feel like, yes, I feel like we do have some people who do that.
So I'm just curious.
What's going on?
Have you seen something where it's like it'll actually rewind, like the match will be over, and this is something that Rob was just talking about, and I have actually experienced this as well, and this is what I'm curious about if this has ever occurred on the Big Blue, let's say, where it's like the match is over. And then all of a sudden, like whoever you're playing, it's like you're back to like, I don't know, 20 frames or something. And it's like, you just killed him. And all of a sudden he's alive and he's getting away with whatever you just pulled off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
never happened to me. I know that's happened on the Marvel cab. That's why I want to bring it up and see if it happened on the Big Blue or
it for sure happens.
So it has happened.
No, it does happen. I always just assumed that was the rollback code, right? Like
that.
You know,
that's kind of what I'm going at. But that's what I'm thinking. Like, are they? Because if it's a lag switcher and it's the rollback code, they're manipulating the situation. I didn't put those two things together. That's a good point. That's kind of where I'm going with that, is that they're manipulating the situation so that they can rewind it in their favor. So even though you won, it's like, ha ha ha, no, you didn't. and they rewind it so that this way, they
Yeah.
have the opportunity to take advantage of that, and it's like you're 20 frames behind. In those situations, when I started playing somebody that did that to me, I'll play one or two more rounds, but when I see that person is constantly doing that, I'll just get fed up and I'll just leave after like a first to 3.
Yeah, but I
Like,
mean,
I
like,
will, I will have my dignity and I will play the first 2 or 3 matches, but after that, I'm like, no, this guy's clearly doing something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but there is I guess there is an alternate strategy you can use. I use it, but you can't do it when the guy's doing the mega optic blast at the end of the match. But to get into it, if you pretty much spam like supers and things, and you kind of are very aggressively playing when they're trying to roll back, usually more than I guess I'd say 75% of the time, they get their ass whooped because they're kind of expecting that if it's rolling back, you're kind of like sitting back helpless. But if you're kind of, because they're also getting rollback. So if you're playing telepathy with them, but you're really aggressive, usually they are like very unpleasantly surprised to be constantly losing.
okay.
So I usually like just play a first to 5 just to troll them because they don't, I don't think they're thinking about it because I guess the method I'm using is working against them. So I'll just take some wins and then I'll leave because I'm also annoyed, but it's still fun to to get that in. But just so you guys know, like if you're playing, they're also getting that rollbacks. So I think it's a little bit less bad when they're the host, which is actually I was like kind of trying to figure out what was going on. I think they have to host it, but you just pretty much play really aggressively, and they don't have much they can do because it's pretty much like you're playing rock paper scissors. I mean, they're playing it, and they also have to keep that context in their head of doing it, so they probably are at a disadvantage. But it's only if you're keeping that in mind.
No, I appreciate the
That
info.
makes sense.
It does
Yeah,
make
so
sense.
just spam the shit out of them when you see them rolling back to the assholes.
Okay.
You can.
Speaking of hosting, I want to ask you guys another question. How do you feel about people who have a super strong side preference and are kind of like, hey, come play me, but you host because I want the 2-player side?
A lot of people like the host side, actually.
I
I've seen it
never had
both
that
ways.
issue playing Marvel vs. Capcom or anything else like that. I
Really?
don't really care what side
You don't
play,
care.
to be honest.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter on the Marvel cab. I know that it matters somewhat on Street Fighter, but yeah, on the Marvel versus games, it doesn't matter what side you're on, to my knowledge.
I can elaborate on this, and I'll
I
explain.
think that's more of a handicap than anything. If you only can play one side, or be good on one side.
That's kind of where I was going to go. So I'll be honest and reveal something of my own self. I actually can perform the generic special moves, like the quarter circle forward and so on and so forth, easier on the second player side as opposed to the first. I don't know why, and this is on all platforms and all devices, whether I'm playing on a keyboard, arcade stick, a gamepad. I play better on player 2 side. Now, am I going to put myself purposely on the player 2 side always? No. But I've noticed that about myself. So I think it's because when I was practicing as a child and perfecting my craft, I was on the player 2 side, not on the player 1 for the most part. I think that's why. So I think some people trained differently and trained, things like that. And I think that's what happens with some of us. But that's just my theory. I can't speak for anyone else except for myself.
Well, that's kind of
That's my
strange
take.
for that to happen to you on keyboard. I can kind of understand on a controller because the way your thumb has to shift when you're
Yep.
doing certain moves, I could see why you might be better on one side or the other, but how does that mess you up on a keyboard?
I spend most of I'll be honest with you, I probably spent more time playing on a gamepad in my childhood than anything else. I think somehow it registers somewhere in the brain. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's weird because like The fireball motion is very simplistic on a keyboard. You're just doing down forward, but the dragon punch you're doing forward down forward. For some reason, it comes off more natural to me on the player two side as opposed to the player one. Still, even
I
on a
can't even see
keyboard,
how y'all play on a keyboard, man. Like that
it
shit's
took
foreign
time.
to me. Oh man.
It took time and practice. And I know a lot of people criticize the whole thing with the keyboard, but to be honest and fair with regards to the keyboard, yo, before you go out and judge someone that plays on a keyboard, why don't you learn how to play on it first and then judge someone? I'm just throwing that out there because it ain't that simple. Because I'll tell you what got me into playing on a keyboard. It was because Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, when it came out for the PC on a disc, and I wanted to play. And back then there was no game pads. It was like some cheap bad gamepad or whatever. It wasn't like a SNES. It wasn't anything like that, or a NES even. It was just I couldn't get anything, so I had to learn. I was forced to play on keyboard,
Mhm.
and that's when I started practicing, and I made it fun for myself. Like, okay, how many times can I get out a Hadouken? How many times can I do that fireball motion? So I would just load up the game, put a dummy, and this is what I keep saying with regards to training and stuff. I would put up a dummy and I would just practice doing that on a keyboard, and then I was like, okay, I finally got this. So I understand the timing of it, if you will, like down, forward, punch, down, forward, punch, down, forward, punch.
Yeah, I mean, we still put in the inputs in. I don't think it's as bad as people say. This kind of goes back to the whole get good thing. People will say, hey,
Yeah.
you're cheating. And it's like, especially, dude, no offense, you're talking about throwing in X Men vs. Street Fighter, but like you can throw counter, and I do that. Like, I don't know if you notice, people try to do it to me, and I throw counter more than 50% of the time when I have enough sleep. And there's when you're playing a keyboard, it's the same game. I mean, there's arguably some things that are harder to do. I mean,
Yeah.
Doobie gets his share of wins on me. I wasn't saying nothing about that. I'm just talking about when people hate the what is that called when you
The keyboard
tap and
thing.
throw? No,
Oh,
it's like a Street Fighter 2-3
yeah.
thing mostly.
There's certain things that you can do on a keyboard that you can't do, let's say, like on a pad, so on and so forth. And then vice versa, like doing the Zangief's 360. Like, if you notice, I'm not really a Geef player. On the keyboard is for me to do a 360 motion is very difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, there should be like a way to show what kind of device someone's on. I mean, it would be awesome if they did that, and just people use the honor system. Like, if you're on keyboard, people don't like it, well, then don't play the people with keyboard icon. But unfortunately, none of the apps do that right now.
Okay,
wow.
well,
Be the Street Fighter.
Be the Street Fighter BTS. That's funny. The Lipton man. Doobie doobie doo.
We got the Wolf Man.
R2D2. And who is the man? Shaft. Wow.
A
Shout
pleasure.
out to Wolfman 9. That's funny.
Hey, just to touch back on the throw thing, I wasn't complaining about Rob doing that. It's more of because I played them so much that I'm expecting it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Tums. Like I expect to be throwed. I expect for him to run up, try
Yeah.
to grab me, stuff like that.
But
But
it
as
is cheap,
far as
right?
well,
Like, that
no,
was the topic.
it's not. I'm
It
not
was it
saying
was
it's
the
cheap at
etiquette.
all. I'm not saying it's cheap at all. It's just like like it's just like the rivalry. You know what I'm saying? You're a good player. I know it's coming, especially when we play, it's more like a high stakes, you know what I'm saying? You get real anxious and nervous and the throw comes, you know what I'm saying? Especially
Yeah.
on those close matches. But as far as the keyboard, I'm not knocking anybody for playing it, but me personally, I couldn't I'm so used to playing with the joystick because that's how I first started playing these games on the arcade. You know what I'm saying, or home consoles with the controller. But I respect it more if you're playing on the like a arcade or a controller because it's it's harder to do 3-punch motion by pressing 3 punch versus just having one designated button where you could just
That's
three
you're
punch.
talking about
You know what
macros
I'm
at
saying?
that point.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Well,
talking
I
about
let's-
mean,
You're
that's
talking about
it.
Street Fighter 6. You're talking about Street Fighter 6 at that point. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are ready for that.
Well, let's help the people out there learn how to play on keyboard. So you have a traditional keyboard. You have 4 keys for your movements and about 100 for macros. You know how to play a keyboard.
Wow. So there
I
you
mean,
go,
that's my
ladies and
only
gentlemen.
thing.
Utility man, when he plays on a keyboard, he's got multiple macros.
I
set up.
don't play on a keyboard.
We know now the truth and what he does. So that is
Nope.
how he gets that throw priority. We understand now.
Actually, Tom, like, how do you play on a gamepad? From what I understand, you're playing the 6-button versus games on
Yes.
like an actual 4-button face controller. Is that correct?
No, I have a 6-button face controller if it'll pick
It's-
up.
It's like
kind of like how to take a
faded. It's
Genesis
like
controller.
there he goes. There he goes.
Yeah,
It
there
has
he
it's
goes.
not more
6
important than the
face
T,
buttons.
There he goes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I cannot play Capcom
Tell
style
him, Legs,
games on
tell
a
him.
4-button face pad. Like having 4 buttons when you have 6 attacks just doesn't feel right. I have to have a 6-button face pad.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, now everything makes sense. I thought you were doing this with 4 buttons, although it's still difficult to do some things on the gamepad. Like, I got a retro flag because I had this mini Raspberry Pi, and I tried to use it against Silent Ninja my first time against him. I got wrecked, but like that thing, it was different after playing on a cab layout, especially
Well,
a Japanese one.
It also depends on if you use your thumb or if you do a claw grip. Now, I use my thumb, but I know a lot of people like to do the claw grip because it feels more like an arcade stick. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't, because I don't play
So
fighting games on it. I'm just trying to pretend that I do.
for
but
a claw grip,
can
you
elaborate
still
for the
hold the
audience.
left side with your hand, and you put your palm on the right side, and you use your 3 fingers to push the buttons.
So do you do like any Tetris tournaments or? I'm sorry, I saw like a documentary on that, like a YouTube thing. It's
Well, I don't play this way. I know a lot of pad players do, but I don't. I use my thumb.
People in the tournaments playing like that. They have it on their knee or something like on their leg, and they'll play like that.
Can you guys do that thing where like you take the controller, like people take an NES controller and they're tapping like underneath it with the other one there to get a really quick vibration for like challenges or something? I don't know.
It's like more.
I don't see how people play on hip hop.
vibration.
Do you do that, Tom? Is that why you're pretty good at all these games? Beat me in Capcom versus
Oh, I
P2?
mean, I've just played with a
Don't flatter
controller
him.
all my life.
Don't flatter him. Don't flatter him.
No,
Don't do that.
no.
Don't do that.
No,
Don't do that. He's gonna
mentioned
get
the
a
last
more
episode,
swelled up head, bro.
I didn't have many people to play against, so I
Don't
didn't get
do
to
it.
play on the cabs very much.
do it.
Like even in actual arcades, I was almost like 95% a controller player, and I've just never switched off of it. So that's what I'm used to. I mean, I'm thrilled that you think I'm really good at the game. I'll take the compliment. But actually, since I know Shaft has to go soon, there is one topic I really wanted to bring up.
Okay.
So, how does everybody feel about playing people who do some kind of cheat code or unlock method to play as the hidden cheat boss character?
Yeah,
Rage
I'll-
quit right after. Right.
I'm
right off
guilty
the
of
bat.
that. I don't feel no type of ways. I don't.
You mean like the like Red Venom, or like are you talking
No,
like when people use a
no.
Game Shark and get like
like Super Turbo Akuma, or as I just mentioned earlier with World Heroes Perfect, Neo Dio. You can put in a
So-
code, and he is
so-
broken.
This
I
will be
mean-
a whole discussion for another show, but I will let you ride with this question.
Well, I really wanted Shaft's input because I know he's had to deal with some Akumas.
It hasn't bothered me, to be honest. If it was a tournament, I would feel differently. But when it's just online and someone picks Akuma, I figure they're scared. I pick my Chun-Li, and I haven't lost to an Akuma. they're usually just trolls trying to get an upper hand when they're not actually very good.
Yeah.
People who are really good don't need to rely on that. If someone really good did pick Akuma, they would destroy me, and it wouldn't really be very fun for anyone. So it hasn't bothered me because I haven't lost, and they usually aren't good anyways. So
I played a lot of Akuma in my day.
I'm sure you did. Well,
I did. I admit
for-
to it.
for those of us that are Marvel players here and we've played the console versions, how would you feel if you were playing somebody and they picked
Sub GVO.
Onslaught?
So GVO.
Say that
I got-
again. Awesome.
I got to jump, guys.
Like,
Thanks for having
how
me.
would?
All right,
see you
Shaf.
later,
Bro,
Shaf.
thank you for being on tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So, like, how would you guys feel if you were playing somebody and they picked Onslaught against you?
I think I probably would rage because he can just like spam that beam all the time or them hyper
Yeah.
grabs all the time. So I probably would rage on that. But yeah, I'm glad you can't play with it.
I'm Agent Smith, GVO.
Wait. So you're a sub agent? What happened?
My gosh.
I'm A1EN. No, actually, that's Morph. I'll I1 make you break it. That's me on the cat. I'm not actually. I'll make you break it. So
He's
nobody
a
start spreading that.
I can't say it. Subsidiary of that. That's what he is.
Yeah, I was gonna use a Hulk filter and like, just like, yeah, this is green also.
No, this works. That's cool.
Okay,
Looks good for you.
well, I see Legs in the chat there, and I know he knows why I'm bringing this up. So I'll just go ahead and say I was in a World Heroes Perfect tournament recently where the person who won, Cham, picked the hidden boss character, Neo Dio, who is banned at
Neo-
official
wait, wait.
tourneys.
Neo Dio? You mean Neo Geo, right?
No,
Okay.
Neo Dio. He
I'm
is
about to look him
banned
up.
at official tourneys because he is so disgustingly broken.
Wait, what game is this?
World Heroes Perfect.
I am
Like
not.
it's one of those times where if somebody has any clue what they're doing, you have to pick the same character to have any kind of chance.
Aren't like those older fighting games a little bit more spammy? They're like alternate universe champion edition in a way.
Well, I mean, it's an SNK game, which SNK is known for broken bosses. And to answer you there, Legs, Neo Dio is beatable for somebody who doesn't know how to play him. If you're good with him, no, you don't beat him. You just don't. I'm sorry. Like
I mean-
he would not be banned at official tourneys if he was not a problem.
Well, we're about to have a lot of that soon with certain fighting game. So, you know.
Yeah, but it's like I know when Smash Brothers Brawl was the big thing, Meta Knight was banned in tournaments because he was so overpowered that you pretty much had to pick him to beat him. And Neo Dio is the same way.
Well,
Sure,
like in
somebody
Marvel
who's-
vs. Capcom 2, if people start playing a little more often and online, how would you manage that, Blast? Because you've got the top tier characters, and you know, like once you play the game with an open roster, it's not a game that works with Shotos or a lot of characters. Probably 2/3 of them. That'd be
He
You're
almost
absolutely
looked like
correct.
Blackheart.
For me, I mean, I kind of like the challenge sometimes, so I will accept it. I've done some crazy things where I've taken, so to me, like Ryu, for example, going up against like a Wolverine in Marvel 1, you know, you look at that and you're thinking to yourself, all right, Wolverine is going to pulverize Ryu right now because of what he can do. He's better equipped. He's more of a top tier, you know, versus what Ryu can do. But for me, I have taken that as a challenge and have purposely dedicated to learning how to adjust and deal with like Wolverine and things like that with a mid-tier character so that, you know, I'll play these guys with these mid-tier characters and I might not win, and majority of the time I will not win against like a War Machine or a good Wolverine or Spider-Man in like Marvel 1, for example, with Ryu. But you better believe that I'll give them a good fight or something for them to think about, like, okay, well, yeah, I feel a difference here. And sometimes I will win. And that's the whole challenge and the reason why I do play and enjoy it. To
Yeah, I
play
mean, like
with
Marvel
things like
One and X-Men vs Street Fighter, Marvel Super vs Street Fighter. There's there's mechanics in that game that are, I mean, they're missing some mechanics from Marvel vs Capcom 2.
yeah.
So in MVC 2, the thing that you might have to deal with is the helpers, because you have two assists, and then you can also fly, and you can also call your assists when you're flying with certain characters. So you pretty much create games of chicken. Uh, if someone is really trying to be a jerk in the game, so I mean, there's a little bit of different dynamic. That's all I'm saying is like MVC1, you can let them exhaust their assists, try to trick them out to use their Colossuses. But
Well, a major difference for me, like MVC2 is kind of built on the fact that people are going to pick assists, and certain assists are going to counter different things. And no, you don't have to play 3 top tiers to beat 3 other top tiers. But when it's a game where it's one-on-one and one person has the broken hidden character and the other person doesn't, it just doesn't feel right. And again, I'm not trying to take Cham's win away from him, Haffy. That's not my point. I'm just trying to say that if you play an OP boss character, then it feels like the other person has to pick that character or they're not going to win. And that to me is just not fun.
yeah, I think it's like part of the job of I guess if you do a tournament, you just kind of have to learn from, well, maybe not everybody knows World Heroes Perfect to the point where they know. Peace out, Wolfman. Enjoy your transformation.
But
See you later.
no, that was funny though. Earlier, R2D2 and Doobie Doobie Doo and Lipton Man.
I feel you on that, GVO.
Yo, but GVO is right with regards to that, because what happens is that you do end up adjusting. Like you'll pick a team and then it's like, what counters that team.
But
Like
GVO is
you will adjust.
GVO is superhuman though. This guy just get good in all the games. Got to give him props.
Okay, sorry, but Haffy, you don't understand what Neo Dio can do. Like, just because Cham wasn't pulling off like ridiculous stuff with the character doesn't mean he can't do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's you going based off of that event and whatnot. I understand.
And I mean, I don't want to pick the same character, because if it turns into a tournament,
but you didn't
of 16,
rage quit.
Well, I didn't rage quit, but like when you allow stuff like that and you get a tournament of 16 people and everyone wants to win, you're going to have 16 people picking the same character, because
that's based off
off
of the way the tournament is organized, in my opinion. Like that's whoever's running that event. They're responsible, and they're the ones that make that judgment call. That's what my take on that is.
So, Utility Man, would you consider just walking off if people, let's just say you were like in a tournament and then everybody just picks that character and you didn't expect it? Would you ever just not play in the tournament after you've already joined, or have you ever done that?
Well, the reason why I mentioned this, again, it happened to me. And when I was playing in the World Heroes Perfect tournament and I saw him pick that character, I knew right that second, that's who's winning. There was no question in my mind. That is who's winning. I didn't quit. I played through to the end.
So XX Legs brings up a point. He says
he does.
Bison is broken in CE. He's absolutely broken in CE, but he's not banned. Red Venom is a coded character, but he's not banned. I guess he means a secret character.
Well, again, there's a difference between cheap and this character is so disgusting that you have to pick that character to beat them. Like
Yeah.
there's a distinction, and that's why certain characters are banned in official tourneys.
Yeah.
Was Red Venom usually banned? Because I'm not too up to speed with the official Marvel vs. Capcom 1 tournaments. Is Red Venom like a character that people do ban because he does have his infinite?
No.
Now,
Red.
Sosa brought up another good thing. It's not about
Yeah,
the
that's
character;
right,
it's
Sosa.
about the player. It's true.
Right.
It's depending on how the player plays with the character.
That-
sometimes
That
as
only
well.
goes so far.
I mean, it can make
Well,
the game less enjoyable, which I think.
Dude, you can be, you can pick the best character in the game, but if you don't know how to use him, he's
But
right.
But that's
He's
what
right.
I'm
There's some
saying.
characters that you just. Sorry.
That only goes so far, because if you have somebody play as Abyss and the other person has 3 roles, but they happen to be the better player,
Okay.
they're not going to win.
That's
But
on the
let's say-
extreme end of things, you know. 'cause-
But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
But-
Like, yes, skill is obviously important. I will never deny that at all. But
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
there is a barrier there where having the better character can make that slight bit of difference where you beat somebody who's a little more skilled.
Sometimes it makes a big. You have to sugarcoat it. Like that is a pretty huge.
Well, Ryu
Alrighty.
X is agreeing with you with regards to that. You know,
I think that
Yeah.
it basically depends on how much you like that game at its
Yeah,
cheapest
he agrees with me on that.
level. You know, like, do you still enjoy fighting? What's that guy's name on the cab in X vs Street Fighter? Dick Cheese.
No.
That's
No,
the
I
individual
play
that,
that guy, you know, like, I play the game
I
at that.
do not.
I'm
those
sworn to
levels.
secrecy about. I can't reveal his identity.
Secret now.
And
That's
I will
literally the
tell
guy's
you,
name.
though.
You know, I'm not trying to make this a.
Yeah,
I'm
rated
done.
no,
R.
I know
Go into
exactly who
detail,
you're
dude.
talking about.
He lives
And
up to
that's-
his name, both the words in it.
That's one of my
Kudos.
things there. Like, you can pick top tiers against me. You can infinite me if you want. I don't like infinites, but I'll stick around and play. But
Okay.
the moment you start teabagging me, I don't want to play you anymore.
Will
That's
that
just
cause
my-
a rage quit? That will cause a rage quit. That
I
cause
will
you to
wait
leave.
until the round is over. I will not leave before that counts. That's completely different. Like, I'm not going
I
to
can
quit out
picture.
mid.
I could picture utility man going at it like with his pad, like.
Well, there's guys that legit get upset during the game sometimes, and I don't know if they're messing around, but some people have cracked their control panel in half. I lent an extra one to
right.
a friend in New York. Yeah, I don't want to tell his story online. I'll let him follow up when he's on or on his show. But like, I mean, it's not like it's people. Some people are more susceptible to rage than others.
Yeah, I will never quit out mid-match. I don't care what you do. But if you are teabagging, I will leave after the round is over. You can have your win, but I no longer want to play you.
So we talked about
what's
that
his name?
earlier.
Karen. It all depends, man. Because if you're a person that took their time and actually practiced infinite, then you can appreciate when you're fighting against someone else that does it. Now, if you just
But Doobie, at the same time, like, I remember Just Rich was in a tournament against you, and he did the Spider-Man Venom glitch, right?
now, see, I of course,
It's pretty hard to pull that off.
I loved that.
well, speaking of
Well,
that,
just for some context for the
that,
audience, right? Like,
it's because,
That's messed up. See, to
well, let's
me, I
explain
feel
what
like
the-
that's a
what the
level
Spider-Man Venom glitch
of
is.
disrespect.
now the reason why I was upset with that is because Just Rich is a good player, and he know he could beat me without doing that. The fact that he did that, especially when I was close to beating him, if you watch that video back, his Spider-Man and his Venom was low on health. And then he did that purposely. That would make me just want to stop playing because you didn't have to do that. But then
But-
at the same time, I
So that
felt
was
like I
Doobie.
was going to win.
but you would accept the
I
infinite
went
because
by
it takes skill.
infinite.
But if the guy with the top skill catches you in the glitch, there's like some lines where I guess it depends on the way you take it. Maybe like what drives that line, that difference.
Well, because I will always troll him on the Discord, because he's a good player, and the only way you can play him is by catching him on, because he don't be on that much. And I felt like by me trolling Just Rich, Like he'll get upset, and when he play me, he's not gonna hold back, which is what I want because I don't want you to be playing lame against me because you know you're better than me. I want you to go full force, this and that. So that was the main reason why I was antagonizing him. You know what I'm saying? But
What's up,
for
Zegas?
him to do that against me, honestly, it made me feel like it took all the fun of trying to beat him out because he did that and he didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
Yeah, but you know,
I
Just Rich, he's not. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body. I mean, he's.
I know, but like I said before, it just what the moment he did that, my whole drive of trying to beat him just went away. It's like
I'm
no.
gonna come
This
off like
is-
an asshole, but I feel like Just Rich kind of like earned the right to do whatever the hell he wants on Marvel vs. Capcom specifically
Yeah.
because this dude, he beats people's ass, but he doesn't pick Red Venom or he doesn't need to
the
use
special
these
And
high
character.
tier
that just
characters. He'll
brings me
just go
back
like,
to my point. Like he did not have to do that to me, but he did it anyway, and it's just like
So this is turning into
everybody needs
a
to have their
session
fun. I
of
think sometimes like as long as it's not normal.
so
I don't know.
so guys.
Maybe I like him too much, so I'm giving him
I
too much
don't
credit.
want to turn this into a therapy session though. With utility man starting with saying what hurt him. Now Doobie.
Wait, what? Whoa.
So what I do
Don't
want
put
to
it that
say,
way.
since
Don't put it that way, or I will throw you around the room.
well, hold on a second because there's coming back to topic now. Because what's happening is that the whole thing is what I was saying earlier in the stream. Some people haven't tuned in before, so bringing this up now. This is the whole emotional attachment to the game where people get sensitive, people get whatever, and that causes them to rage quit and all that. So that's where I said, fight game etiquette and all that, like you want to keep your composure to a certain degree. So this is a perfect
Like Will
example
Ferrell,
of how not
right?
to, just
Have you guys seen that Old School? Everybody see the movie Old School where he's in the locker and he's naked, basically throwing
we're
chairs
going
around?
streaking.
I think some people like actually have that going on because I know there's people that have like broken their cabs, and that people are in their underwear like eating cereal sometimes.
Bro, who is
I
in
don't
their
know if I've
underwear
done that.
eating cereal?
That was my movie with when I was growing up with that guy Zegas who just commented. But
Okay.
I think that
That's cool.
is a good representation of the topic of this chat. We gotta.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a tangent. That was a tangent.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, that's what I'm just saying is that I feel like for all of us, even my own self included, like there is an emotional attachment to you and because you're vested. You're spending the time playing these games, so like that's why people rage quit. That's why people get whatever sensitive about things. And if you're playing, let's say, a ranked match or whatever, that's why people I think do drop from those games. And I think that's why people, they don't want their rank affected. They don't want whatever because they feel like they're grinding, they're working hard, so on and so forth. I think your boy's saying something to you, bro. So he went streaking in Central Park.
what?
This is actually a funny story, and I'm on.
So that's the
stream,
guy
but-
that we saw on the news. I got you.
No, we weren't in Central Park doing that stuff, but we grew up in projects. We were a little bored. I know that probably some other friends of mine are going to see
you
this.
both went streaking?
I mean, like we had like a group of young men
Hold
on a
up, that's
little running
this
track,
is
and
true?
we saw that movie, and we drank. My mom, she was cool with us sometimes, so like she bought us some beers.
He's blaming it on the liquor, guys. He's blaming it on the liquor. That's what.
Yeah, So we're like, I was like in this project, like 2 blocks from Central Park, just like ironically, like you're in like there's piss all over the elevators, and then my friends all live in Harlem. We just go like 2 blocks up. And Blast, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
We go to
I live in the city, so I know.
Yeah, we just saw Old School. We got no money. We do crazy shit. We just start knocking stuff down. Like it's just like how the older kids taught us, and we just fucking like took our shirt off and saw the movie.
Wow.
It was random.
We're going streaking.
I don't know what led to that. we weren't on like hardcore drugs. Like some people smoked weed and stuff, but like, yeah, it was fun. I don't know what the hell happened that day. We were taking. Oh, we actually made a movie too, and I wish I had that clip. It was like basically if you imagine Filthy Frank before the internet, because we had like this big ass camcorder, and I like editing.
No, you're right.
Sort of related to all this stuff,
but I highlighted Sosa because he's absolutely correct. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, if you lose or whatever happens, you go back into the lab, you go back to training, you go back to perfecting your craft. That's the whole thing of why it's a game. It's the beauty of it. That's the whole thing also. And I'd like to do this for a future fight talk where, about being number one, because a lot of us have held that number one title too, including myself, in like different, I've been number one on the Arcade 1-Up. I've been number one on the PlayStation Network before.
Nobody cares about that one.
Wow.
Nobody's asking you, okay?
That's
you just
no, come on, win
with your tea bags and stuff.
Are you talking about
all around you?
Talking about Marvel vs. Capcom Origins, Blast?
Yeah. On the
when were you number one on the cab?
Before, and you can even ask Eddie. Me and Eddie
He was
get like a beta cab before anybody else got one and played a game?
Bro.
He was there. He was there. I mean,
just
I saw
because
him,
I'm not playing or active now doesn't mean that I,
when I got a cab, like me and this guy Zegas went to Walmart. We're like, what? This thing can go online, and then like you were like number two, I think at that time. I got a little bit late, but even then you were still there. So
thank you. Thank you for vouching for me, bro. I appreciate that.
Well, I will say, as far as competitive nature goes, and I said this last week, if you were afraid to lose, you're playing the wrong game.
So he's saying he's been
afraid to lose, you're playing the wrong genre, I think. And I think if you're going online,
you can't be afraid to lose. You got to just go in there and have fun, not care. I got to a point where I don't care about my rank. I really don't. Like,
and you could be high rank and have way more losses than wins. Like, I think my ratio in MVC2 is 2 losses to 1 win, but I'm gold. I just take a lot of beatings, so it doesn't matter.
GVO, don't lie for the man.
Yo, this guy is pointing out stuff you've done in your past.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
It
seemed like a good idea at the time.
You do a little coding. You go to Central Park and do weird things.
See, even GVO. Thank you, my man.
Yeah,
good
don't lie for the man, GVO.
Yeah, he was.
Lying.
That's when he was rocking that avatar
I'll,
with the shades.
Later on, bro. Later on. I got you.
Yeah, we'll see. See. Every time you say we're gonna play.
What? What are you complaining about now?
Okay, I'm just gonna straight
now?
up say, like, I don't believe you were number one. I just don't. I don't see that. I believe you made red rank.
That's right, lady.
Fine. I believe you could probably make top 10, but number one.
Wow.
He's trying to say that you had another account and
no.
You were having fun with your streaming PCB.
Rob,
if
anyone can figure out how to see whatever, it would be you. You are more than welcome to look through my shit. In fact, I ended up changing my name once because my nephew came over. I never played, by the way, if you look at the record. But my nephew came over, wanted to play. I changed my name on the cab so that he could play, and he never did. So the funny thing is, Morph was the one who messaged me. He's like, bro, changed your name? I was like, what? So I know these tools are out there.
But you went undercover, right?
No, I the only reason why I did it was, like I said, was because of my...
But you never went undercover like to troll or
to investigate or see other people's games?
I know you're good.
You have to go undercover to troll.
You don't.
No, you do that very well, utility man.
Every time you pick anybody but Ryu, I know you're trolling because you don't play other characters.
I can play other characters.
He probably gets bored as well. Dude's been playing this game since in 1999 with like you. I mean, you have like your videos to back it up. Like you haven't stopped.
It's not just me
And-
though. It's not just
Okay,
me.
if the
To
man
be
was
fair.
I know it's
bored,
not you, but
why is it every new fighting game that comes along, he finds the Ryu character to play? He's not bored.
You know
That's
what?
just what he
I
plays.
just give up. Like he's just, he's gonna start with this. He's gonna start with this boobs Ryu. He's gonna start with different types of Ryus. Go ahead.
wait, when
Go
you
ahead.
played the
You
Psycho,
got
have you played
Red
the Psycho drum
Ryu
game?
and Edgy
Black?
Ryu and Patriotic Ryu and Spider
Captain
Ryu.
America. Spider Ryu. See, Spider.
Hey, Blast, I have something to share at this moment.
I
Do
give.
you mind if I share? I present something.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? I'm just gonna. I give up.
1 second.
I just give up.
This is to you right now, Blast. Let me take this. Actually, ironically, was doing some work today, so
Okay.
there we go. This is like at work.
You should be able to screen share. Did you hit the present button?
Yeah, I did, but I'm
Okay.
I'm wondering like which. Okay, there we go. I've never done this before, so you
It's okay.
don't
Take
mind me,
your
guys.
time.
There we go. Snap camera. No. What's being shared right now? Is it all the code?
Yeah. Your screen. Do you want me to bring it onto the stream?
Which screen? It's the one with us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This one's for you, Blast, right now.
Okay.
This is also Pazigas is watching.
Should I put? You heard him right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the stream. So is this gonna cause a copyright strike?
I think 40 seconds is fine. You've got this little watermark. Shout out to this channel for hosting this. I don't know which one it is. I don't know.
I mean, the Lipton thing's not going to get us struck, so
Just you alone is gonna get me banned. I'm telling you this now.
with the things you were saying at the beginning of this, do you think I'm going to get you banned?
Does the audio even work?
I don't think I know. Oh, hold on. I'll bring it on the stream. Hold on, bro. Let me just let me adjust this 1 second. Go ahead. It should play. It should be okay now.
All right, this is to you right now. Blast, when you take your hat off.
I don't. I just don't hear the volume.
Probably better for your copyright strike. This is
Probably.
the living reincarnation of Zegas, by the way.
That's
out to you, man.
funny.
Keep your composure, guys.
Exactly. That's the whole point of this stream, is that you keep your composure. You don't get emotionally attached to these games no matter what. Although, yes, I think we all get that, and it happens to the best of all of us.
I just like that.
It smacks.
You need like a gif of that.
Yeah, I'd love to point out the man saying "keep your composure" was just saying he was quitting. You did just say I quit.
I'm just, you know what it is?
Because he's gonna go online later and just start like teabagging people on on alt, and he's really good. So
I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
You don't
It'll
play
be
on a
like, it'll be on the
controller.
keyboard like.
no, that's you. That's you.
I
That is
don't
me-
play that
that's me when I'm doing other
ferociously.
things.
That's
Like,
you.
No,
reason I
that
have a
is not
cat
how
is-
I play. This is how I play. Throw, 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 throw,
I believe
throw.
it. I
That's how I
believe it.
play.
Those
That's
are
actually
those are the secrets
Then I put
that
the auto macro
he's
on. Like,
revealing at this point.
when people tell me that all my throw reversals are from a macro, that's what I'm doing. Turn it on. I'm just kidding. I haven't even had time to I play legit, man.
I know you do. No, I've played you before. I know you play legit.
Yeah, you beat my
That's
ass
true.
before. Of course, you'll tell me that.
He beat you? Well, you must have been playing legit.
Yeah, you got to be a good winner sometimes too, Blast.
I've used different reuse according to Utility Man.
Yes, all of the reuse.
So what Strider? What kind of Ryu is that? I want to hear this. Orb
I didn't say
Ryu?
Strider was a Ryu.
What is he then?
Strider's kind of
Strider.
a Ryu though.
Not really. Like his
We're gonna have a whole
projectile is a
show.
ground projectile. It's destroyable differently. His expansion is not a Tatsu. He doesn't have a Shoryu.
We're going to have a whole show dedicated to just different versions of Ryu based off of Tom's dictionary.
And I will show everyone who the Ryu is in every fighting game.
Wow.
Mega Man's definitely a Ryu.
Mega Man is definitely a Ryu.
Well,
Look at my Funko Pop thing.
yo, I gotta tell you, I like your friend. I really do.
He's a cool dude. He's in our group, like in one of our groups.
Bro, he's good. Like Ryu is God. Like
But Marvel 2 is the best version of Ryu.
says who?
He's the only one that can do all the super cancels.
Wait, he can do all the. I
You
thought all
mean
the characters can do all
the
the super
super
cancels.
into hypers is what you're referring to.
Yeah,
I
Tatsu
know what
into
you just
Super
meant
Fireball.
talking about because in Marvel 2 with Ryu, you can Tatsu into the
Yes.
Shinku Hadouken
Shinku,
right
yes.
after that. A regular Tatsu.
I'm
Wait,
pretty
you
sure
can do. Oh yeah, you mean like you can do a regular Tatsu and then do a Shinku.
Yes.
Mhm.
in the
Yeah,
air.
Marvel 2 has the cancels, and he has a snapback.
Mm-hmm.
No other version of Ryu has a snapback.
I think
Well,
Uma is comparable to him in MVC2 because he's got the Tatsu into the air
Mhm.
fireball super, and that's like takes a crap ton of damage.
Mhm.
yeah, if you do things right, it depends. So what I like about MVC1 Ryu is he's a powerhouse if you use him right.
Yeah,
That's where he's my favorite version of that.
he's
And
underrated.
it's true. The Shinshoryuken that takes level 3. I agree with your boy. He's absolutely correct with that.
I wish
but
they would
just-
have kept it as level 1 on Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. Just keep that at level
Well,
1.
you know what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for.
They did.
What game am I waiting for? Anybody know? Who knows?
I think Capcom versus SNK3.
That's right.
Fighting herds.
No, I'm actually
That'd
waiting
be
for.
nice. That would
I
be
think they're
nice.
gonna ruin part 3, so they should just bring us part 2, free CVS 2.
For the yeah, well, that would be cool too. But
Man, we
let
need
them
a
get
Power
let them get
Stone
the
man.
rest of the stuff right first, and then you know.
Well, I
They
mean,
need to bring Power
money
Stone
brings
back,
in
man.
new things. So
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get it right at some point. Not like I have anything to do with anything, but no, I do think that I don't think that when I guess for context, we're talking about Marvel's Capcom 2, the PR nightmare of not releasing with online play. I think that people underestimated some of the technology or like where they were at, and
Okay.
but it's possible, and there's a lot of work being done, and I'm being legitimate there. So nobody's probably watching, but
Like I do want to ask, when you say some people underestimate the technology, you talking about the players or
I'm
Arcade
talking
One
about,
Up?
so I'm not used to being on streams. I can't talk about certain things, even though I'm not responsible. There are very smart people doing certain types of work, and I contribute to other types of things that I can when I can, because you can't
Let's
just jump in there.
let's just leave it at this.
But what I'm
This man
saying
down
is,
there, he makes stuff happen. We'll just leave it at that.
Then I'll just say I think certain people at Arcade One Up thought that getting online on MVC2 was going to be a lot easier than it really was. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
Okay,
you could make that a fair. It's fine to say that. It's okay to say that. I think that there was a miscommunications going on. I think that they're doing well.
We can save that for another day, for another discussion, guys.
But just just one question.
Go ahead.
Can you play Marvel's Capcom 2 online on a Raspberry Pi 4?
You would be the one to know that.
So if you think about the architecture and how that runs, anything that's being done right now is going to help.
You should be able to.
More. So it's not just the cap thing.
I have no idea.
I think you can even do it on a 3.
Yeah,
I actually have a Raspberry Pi 3 that has MVC2 on it.
So you can play offline, but you can't play
offline. I'm talking
You can't play, like, if you tried to play that online, you would probably you wouldn't even, the thing would just reboot. Like it's at
It
that
wouldn't be
level.
able to handle it.
At this point, until recently, I mean, there's a chance that some things are speeding up the process so that everybody can enjoy it in different ways. Yeah. So it's not like a win-lose situation that people.
So hardware
Well-
limitations is really what you're trying to say.
No. It's really like it takes work, and human technology has to evolve, and people need to invest in that. And once a company or people start to pay attention to doing it in a certain avenue, suddenly it opens up doors. So
I mean, to be fair, even the PS2 can play Marvel 2. Not well, but it can.
yeah, but
So
see,
guys-
that's what I'm talking about. Like we're going into it's a technology problem.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is that the whole topic was we want to stay on topic with regards to the whole.
We got
Yeah.
you.
We can save this conversation for another day though.
No, I can't talk too much about something like that anyway. So I'm just trying to
No, but we
give
can-
a realistic scenario. I
we
can't
can-
really go into that on the whole stream. It's not.
We can elaborate on certain things without going into deep diving on certain specifics.
Then I'll just end it with this. People would rage quit about the fact that Marvel 2 has no online if it had online.
I'll be right back, guys. I need to step away for a second. You guys can go ahead and carry on.
Like,
Oh, no.
I'm probably not the target audience for it because I don't have a Marvel 2 cab, but
But I
without-
I don't have one of those either, man.
think
really
Ruby
now.
doesn't have one.
Really?
Well, the thing
But yeah,
about
man,
it-
I hope they do. I hope they do like a Street Fighter Alpha or Street Fighter 3. No more Street Fighter 2 cabs, please.
yeah, I mean, the thing
No
about it
more,
is like
no
it's
more
not
of
like a black and white situation. Like you have these cabs, but if you had another cab come out, like this is a misconception. Does that mean that less resources go into the other one? If like it's a whole different paradigm for how they're working on it, or how that gets done, or even the outcome of it, whether it affects if it gives you one benefit or another to the community. Because say you release something that isn't on Naomi, because no home arcade company, if you notice, has put an online Naomi thing on, right? They have like, I guess there's different business models, and they just haven't gotten there with any one of, like, no Naomi game on a home arcade cabinet that's not like a PC port or something like that. So, that being possible is going to open doors, I think. That's the thing that I'm kind of excited about. Like, it sucks how it was handled. Obviously, I'm slightly biased, but yeah, it sucks how it's handled. But like, they can't like kind of print these cabs out of thin air. Like, you have to work with companies to make it a thing. So like, if it's a choice between having it and not having it, and then developing that or not, and having those later, I would take the choice of having it somehow and getting that done. And I think they're being pretty creative. So like, you can't really put a positive light on how it released. But I think that there are positive results that are going to come from it. And I really, I'm not, you guys can check my videos. I've never taken any videos down. I'm not trying to show my stuff. I'm not even like, kind of, my channel's not there. But there are a lot of positive things that are going to come from this. I can tell for 100% sure, not only for like one company, but like possibly a lot of people, because it's an open source base, and it opens possibilities for the hardware. Like, you get one of these RGB, these little Chinese tablets, like next year, they're probably gonna be more powerful. You can do a lot of things. They're not going to have an official license, but you're using open source software and improving that. So it's going to be like, if there's no resources for developers, like, why can't we play on Raspberry 4 in 2022? A Raspberry Pi 4 can handle a Marvel's Capcom 2 online. It's because nobody has the time and the resources to develop it, and you can't get people to do that for free. So like, I'm not going to do that for free. I don't even sleep. I have hobbies too. So
I'm back, guys.
Yeah, but like you said, Rob, I mean, even though the cab doesn't have online, I'm very happy with it.
I might do
I'm
something
glad
for
I
free.
have it. Like, and I'm willing to sit here and wait until it comes. I'm not.
Yeah,
complaining.
I mean, we shouldn't be willing to wait too long, though. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's positive things.
I mean, well,
it's a bad release, but it's positive things that come from it long term.
I'm very happy with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if
You
it
don't
never
have to be
got
happy
online,
with
I was
it.
still happy with it.
Okay,
You know.
it's fine.
I see Doobie having the cab behind him and whatnot. You know, the positive thing, like I don't want to like I know we really went off topic on this, but the positive thing about it, the MVC2 cab, is the fact that you have all of the games between MVC cab and X-Men versus Street Fighter cab, so that all of those games are combined and all of those games are already online. So that is a positive thing with regards to that. So I've seen people that complain about the whole MVC2 online thing. I get it, I understand it, but there are other positives to that cab that people are missing. Now,
If it
I'm
wasn't
gonna
for that
just
cab, do you guys
uh,
think that you would have seen an input fix officially on the older cabs? So
that that
that would have
too.
never happened. So that was,
We have to give
that's thanks to
credibility to
everybody,
we have to give credibility where it's due. So thank you for that.
everybody outside
N-
watching, supporting the
No, but
community.
it's the person that actually
Definitely.
did it and fixed it was you. So
I appreciate it.
huge respect to that. And I can tell you that's
Yeah,
another
man.
discussion I'd like to have later on because I can actually point out the differences with the frame data and say, okay, this is where before this is what happened and this is what happens now because
Hmm.
I've given a couple of examples. We can go more into detail. I'd love to have you on again, Rob, so that we can talk about that. Today's discussion, though, is really regarding rage quitting, fighting game etiquette, and attitudes, just general attitudes. And I actually, my whole thing that my big takeaway from this is that I feel as though a lot of people get emotionally attached to the games and as a result they act out, you know, whether they're frustrated with regards to how they're playing, who they're playing against, whether the person's doing something that's aggravating them, that's building up that rage, if you will, so on and so forth. So that's my take on this. You know, I just want to say that in closing, I'm wondering what you guys, you know, what I'm going to go around to each one of you, and I'd like each one of you to give your opinion on this because we are way past over the 2 hour mark at this point, and I want to bring it back to the discussion, throw it out there, give an opportunity for everyone to talk about, you know, this topic at hand, and we'll say that in closing, and then we can have future discussions and we can deep dive into things like the MVC2 cab, the
Certain things.
input delay, you know, the the possibilities are endless. That's the whole point of the show, is for us to talk about whatever is relevant for the community so that we all come together and we have an understanding of what goes on and we all just provide our opinions and stuff. So thank you for joining us today, by the way, Rob.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
thank you guys
Hell
all
yeah.
for joining and for
Appreciate it.
hosting this thing. We need more. Like this topic is something that I think is really underrated. So that's why I'm coming here, which I don't really like going on streams, but
I know.
I mean, I like
That's why I
joining with
said
you guys. You're my friends. No, not to hide that. And it's not only about that though. It's that the topic is something that's very personal because we all share this hobby
Yes.
and we all feel like something from that, to your point earlier. So
yeah, no, like my opinion is that we all get emotionally attached to it. And as a result, because I mean, come on, how much time are you spending or investing into the game, you know? And for you to kind of have like that whole time that you spent or whatever it is to perfect your craft or to feel like, you know, like you think you're coming in and you know what you're doing, and then to be proven wrong, you know, it's hard to accept that sometimes. And I think that's what causes people to act out and have that rage quit or have that, you know, whatever. I think those are things that do that. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go around. I'll start off with Doobie. Why don't you tell me your opinion on this?
Well, like I said, I'm guilty of all those things. Rage quitting, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. Teabagging when I know I'm you
Teabagging
know,
you.
being a troll, all that stuff.
Okay.
What I can say is that it's natural, you know, especially when you're playing against certain people or you try hard in the lab and when you want to, you know, show that in an actual match, you playing against someone that knows your character and destroys you. You get frustrated. So all I can say with that is just that, like I said, just be patient. If you are in a situation where you constantly losing, look at why you're losing. What are you doing in certain situations what will cause you to lose? You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm fighting against
Yeah.
utility man and he throws me in the corner, you know, he always go like say for instance he'll do like a low hit and then walk up grab. You know what I'm saying? In those situations, just look for that
Yes.
again. Like if we're in a similar situation and he does that, then I should expect like a grab to come out. But you won't know that unless you sit there and actually play against that person constantly to see how he, just to get familiar with the play style. So for all the new people that's playing, don't get frustrated, don't quit after one match. Just take your L's and really pay attention to your opponent and learn his play style, because that's the only way you'll be able to get around certain things that they do. And also ask questions, man. Certain people, except for utility, man, will let you know what's going on and help you out. And
Sharing
that's
means
one thing I like
caring.
about that. That's one thing I like about the community, man. It's like we all talk, we all communicate. It's like a big family. So just don't be afraid. Saying again, learn play styles and just have fun, man. That's all. It's just a
Yeah.
game at the end of the day.
And the other thing, like I was saying before, is that some people do just do these things for fun, like teabagging and so on and so forth, just to see if they could get a rise out of someone else. Like I said, I know that one person, he does that purposely. That's just his thing. That's what he gets a kick out of.
Hmm.
Everybody's got different opinions and different approaches of why they play whatever game. Rob, you want to throw in your final thoughts on this? Well, you're muted, bro.
I mean, I'd let utility man, go
You want
first.
utility man go first? You want to be
Yeah.
in closing?
I mean, he's always interesting. So I want to hear your point of view first.
Okay. Utility
What?
man, are you okay with that?
I'm fine with
Mr.
that.
Mr. Lipton man, Mr. Mr. Lipton man with them tea bags.
America's
I like
favorite
how you can
team.
never tell like whether he's serious or not.
You can never
That's
tell
good.
with him.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
definitely.
harder.
Vegas. Mind games is a part.
It's harder to tell when it's text. I'm sure,
It
like
always
if you
is.
talk to me face to face, you can tell when I'm joking. So my only thing is, as I mentioned earlier, I do have a moral code that I go by, and I don't hold other people to those standards. Just myself. I won't use infinites. If you use them against me, fair game. I hate them, but I won't quit. I don't rely on top tier
That's just funny.
characters, but if you play me with them, I won't quit. Same thing with the Marvel 2. As I mentioned, since we had a Marvel 2 tournament the other night, I don't use assists. I know going into it, everybody else is going to be doing it, but I'm not going to quit from that. The
You did
only
fight.
place,
You did fight good, by the way. I
yeah, I
tuned in and I
appreciate that.
watched.
Like,
So
I know full well a lot of the people that I choose to play a game with are going to beat me,
okay.
and I'm okay with that. The only place I draw the line is when you're trying to teabag or mass spam taunts or anything. Like that's my one caveat. I will not play people that do that. You can infinite me 20 times in a row. I won't say anything bad about you. I'm not going to rage quit. If you teabag, that's the last time I'm going to play you.
Yeah, I have to agree with your friend. I think utility man is salty.
I mean, because again, I think that, yeah, they are meant to be fun and games, but you should respect your opponents.
He's not a serious guy. He's just
And I just think teabagging is not respecting your opponent. It's the same thing with what I was mentioning to Doobie earlier. If somebody is beating you and then they intentionally let you win the next time, that's not cool. That's
Yeah.
not being respectful of your opponent.
Yeah, I agree. But then the thing is that I think they do that so that they can switch out and change different characters.
And that's totally fine. But you can tell when somebody is new to a character and when they're intentionally throwing a match. You can tell.
That's funny. Dustin came back, yo. Dustin, if you want to
Came back
jump
just to
on,
tell you that, utility man.
if you want to jump on and give your final thoughts, bro, anytime, or if you want to type them out, I'll share them on screen, my man.
Even if you teabag me, I will not quit until the match is over. So you still got to win.
I mean, I know something that would make you quit immediately. If anybody starts modding characters, like for any of the caps, I'm gonna find a way to put Blanca in every game. Put X-Men vs Street Fighter Blanca with Infinite and Dragon Ball move, Dragon Punch moves.
That won't be me rage quitting a match. That will be me never playing the game again.
That'll be
entirely different.
It'll be like an episode of The Twilight Zone. That'll be perfect.
I won't know who has that mod, so I could just never play the game again.
I mean, I would never. I don't think that's. It's just a troll, but
make it happen. Make it happen.
That will be me never playing the game again.
We need the best people in the community to come together to figure this out.
Put on your headphones or lower the
I
volume.
won't know who has that mod, so I could just never play the game again. Speaking of Blanca users, here comes one.
I don't think that's. He came back just for you.
He did.
We need the best people in the community to come.
I'm hearing
somebody got to mute their YouTube.
Guys,
I just Shaft,
I did the same thing earlier,
bro.
I know. My bad.
Got it?
Yeah,
you're good. So, you wanna
share his ethos now?
Shaft, do you want to say anything in closing with regards to this topic, or you're being called out for being a Blanca player? This guy, he's got a Funko Pop of Blanca now.
Nice.
You sent it to me.
Well, I did it out of love and respect, brother.
Are you gonna do like a Fighters Evo special where you light it on fire or something and watch it melt?
No. I told him I wouldn't do anything to it.
Yep.
Tom's is going to sleep with it.
Ooh,
you're pushing me though. I might have to break it.
So my final thought on, especially regarding teabagging, is that it's usually just a playful thing, like a haha, I got you, kind of like, on Fightcade, if you want to say good job, you click the token button and give them a little bling bling. It's like the opposite of that, it's like a haha, I gotcha. And it pisses some people off. It gets under their skin. And that's a psychological tactic that you could, it's a dirty one, but it's one you can do it, especially now that people know that about you. If we're in a tournament and you can't leave, people are going to be teabagging you because it gets under your skin.
So you're like one of those ancient Japanese, that little story where the guy kept taunting someone and then, just threw them off at a major battle.
It breaks their focus. I totally agree. I think
yes, it's a little disrespectful, especially in a tournament, because you're like, haha, look at me, I got you.
Yeah.
But
but
if you're in a UFC fight, people taunt each other in there too for the same reason.
Yes. However, the thing is, you're assuming it's going to make me upset. I'm not upset. I just don't want to play you because it's disrespectful.
Ziga said if you ever want to get some wins, he's still learning. Play him in MVC.
Like, if I was worried about getting upset, I wouldn't play Marvel 2 because I see so many MSP teams make your head spin.
I was about to ask you that, Tom's. Like, how do you get in if you don't use assist? Because I know everybody using their assist. So wouldn't it be hard for you to get into to hit the opponent if they always spam an assist and you don't use yours to get in?
It depends on who the assist is, and two of my main characters are very big assist killers. So if they assist at the wrong time, they might lose them.
Yeah. Let's like recap like Shaft's final ethos or advice was teabagging is a strategy and it's okay. Is that basically summarizing, or did you have another thought beyond that one?
Yeah, I mean,
That's it, right?
teabagging for me is a yes. Rage quitting is a no. That would summarize my opinion.
I think teabagging can get people to react differently. I think you get a rise out of people with that. To be honest with you, I think that's why people do it. That's just my take on it.
So maybe
me
this
personally.
is like the moral of the video is that it's like the way that your etiquette your
Etiquette.
etiquette is, your ethos. It's kind of like being a musician, like you're an artist, right? And it's up to the user to interpret it or to play their songs.
Well,
I think the
I'm trying to make a
interpretation.
positive spin on the.
No, it can be interpreted different because I think it can come off more disrespectful than it actually is. Like if you saw me and we're playing face to face, like I'm laughing hysterically during these matches. Like I'm having a great time. I'm usually drinking, you know,
Yeah,
and so like it's not intended to be like a middle finger. It's like I'm having a great time over here, you know.
I think some people do though intend it as that though.
But some people
Sure,
get
a lot of people do.
offense to different things. Like there was a few guys, like one from South America in the Discord, or not South America, maybe like from Europe, Spain or something. And he said that it's disrespectful where he's from to kick someone after they're dead. But I always thought that was like just filling empty time because when you're playing the arcade, you don't have so much time.
I mean, I don't do that, but that doesn't really bother me if other people do it.
It's creative and fun. Yeah.
I think you can. It's a challenge because you can't just combo them as well. Like you can turn that into a whole thing. And I think some people they do that for the sheer fact of like trying to actually get out a combo and seeing if they can actually link things. But then there's other people that do that purposely where they just like they'll get you in a corner and they'll just keep bashing your dead body over and over. Like,
maybe for a part 2 we can talk about like different places people are from. Like in New York they have certain norms, or I guess even Kylera, where a lot of you guys played when the original died out in the arcade at least.
Yeah.
And now in the cab they probably have their own. There's a new culture, and that's different from Fightcade. So that'd be kind of.
It is very different from Fight Club. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can talk about the cabs.
Yeah. Just to go back to what you were saying about the teabagging and stuff. I mean, it's all mind games, and mind games always come along with fighting games. You know what I'm saying? You find a way to get your opponent out of their frame.
Ziga says that teabagging is how Gaio lives.
The American dream, the American way.
His opponents.
That's just too funny.
For me, teabagging is like this. If I offer you a stick of gum and you take the whole pack, I'm going to just roll my eyes and say, okay, 50 cents wasted. But I'm not going to offer you another stick of gum.
I do think teabagging leads to some rage quit. Some people get offended. Some people take it differently. You know, it depends. I mean, if you're playing somebody who, you know, you can't, whatever, that's also something that, you know, like if you're playing somebody and they're lagging or for whatever reason, then they start teabagging you. Like, for example, that one player that, you know, did the frame rewinds and all this other stuff, you know, and then all of a sudden he's teabagging you because he gets away with a win. Meanwhile, you know you won. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't think I want to play you again. You know what I mean? Like, but for me, it would be irrelevant whether or not they teabagged or not. Just the fact that they're cheating or whatever would cause something for me to leave a game. Like, or if I know that they're purposely messing with me, then I'm not gonna. If they're here to play and just have fun, then I'm there to play and have fun. If they're here to be competitive, then okay, I can adjust and I can be competitive as well. But it's got to be, you know, it's kind of like at the same levels, you know. That's where that's just my personal take on things. You know,
well, don't you love finding those players online that have like convenient lag, where if they combo you, everything's just fine. You start comboing them, it starts lagging like crazy, and you drop.
So we did talk about the arcade 1-up. We did talk about whatever. One thing I failed to mention prior to that, and I said I would, was with regards to Fightcade and how people lag in Fightcade, and they do things purposely in Fightcade. Now,
yes, we're
way over the timeline, but I will just throw this out real quick. So some people, when they do infinite combos and whatnot, they complain that people, cheat or lag or whatever. And it's true. It's like if somebody's doing an infinite combo and you're sitting there, you're like, all right, when you're done, like, okay, whenever. Like, I think even Justin Wong recently released a video where somebody was doing it to him and he just kind of got up. He went, got a Coca-Cola, came back, was like, all right, he's done. Taking a sip. All right, now I can play, But people, in response to that, out of frustration, would actually purposely lag the game to get out of an infinite. What they would do is they would actually just drag the window. So if you drag or resize the window, it will actually cause it to lag. Not that I'm giving this tip away for you guys to whatever, or that I
A lot
use
of people know
Take
it.
it.
It's very common knowledge. That's why I'm throwing it out there. So,
like that's another one of those red flags for me. When it's so obvious that you're doing it, I won't play you anymore.
same. I will actually, I'll give it one or two tries, but once I see them continuously doing it or taking advantage of it, that's when I will be like, you know what, screw this.
Yeah, and that's not even Marvel specific. That works for any kind of fighting game or any kind of regular game, I guess.
Totally agree. I mean, you could do that in anything. Like, we're talking Street Fighter to Marvel to even Mortal Kombat, KI, everything.
Yep.
The thing about KI, you'll get a combo out and that thing will just keep going. So it depends on what game as well. There's some things you can control and some things you can't.
It's a nice training mode in KI. Everyone watching, everyone on stream, it's been a pleasure. Can I give one final thought?
Thank you for being here. Go ahead.
I do have to head out. Just 1 second. Share my screen.
He's sharing something. Another thing, he's gonna go streaky. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. No, I just want to play this again for everyone as my
as the outro.
This is my. I don't know if you guys want to end your.
This is how he feels when he gets upset from playing.
This is my final thoughts.
Too bad I can't. I think the screen share, I don't think you can get the volume up. Oh, hold on. I think, can I? No, it doesn't. Here, maybe this will do it. I made it louder. Keep your composure.
This is in response to Shaft. All right, guys. Peace out.
All right, thanks
later.
for being here, bud. Be good. So, yeah, guys, I think I'd like to close out.
Okay.
Before I do, is there anything that I'm going to go around, like I said before?
You already did that.
But this time, rather than let me finish, rather than talk about the topic, is there anything that you'd like to bring up in closing? In general. So, Doobie, you want to go first?
No, I mean, this was a great show. I'm glad we was able to talk about that, and I'm pretty sure the new people to the Discord or to the arcade one-up scene, they can appreciate that. There's other people that goes through the same thing that you go through. So, just stay vigilant and just keep on playing, man.
Hell yeah. Shaft, anything you want to say?
Nice to meet you, Doobie.
Nice to meet you too, man.
Blast, thanks for having me again.
Always
Utility
a pleasure,
man, agree to disagree. I still respect you.
Fine, I respect you too. I rooted for you the other night in the tournament.
Nice. Thank you.
I do have something before, but I don't want you, the three of you, to leave before in closing. So go ahead, Shaft.
No, I was just gonna say I look forward to the next tournament on Fightcade.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was gonna go. I will let Utility Man talk about it, and then while he's doing that, Doobie, do you have that thing? You want to maybe display it?
Oh, I don't have it on me, but
Okay.
I can just do a quick video and just send it to you so you can spruce it up. But I
Okay.
can't wait to get rid of it.
Okay. No. That's all good, bro. If you want to like screen share or whatever, that's all cool too.
Mhm.
And you guys are welcome back at any time, for the shows and stuff. So, and I'd like to give other opportunities for other people to join. So hopefully we can get Rachan to join us on the next one as well. But we will talk about that. Utility man, anything else you want to bring up?
The only thing I want to say is, and I'm tired of having to fight this off in chat, playing on a gamepad does not give me some major advantage over fight stick players.
Here we go again.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No,
Man, you be
it does
doing those
not.
flash kicks back to back, man. The only way you could do it is because you got the controller.
Yeah, and you know what? You can hit all three punches at the same time. I can't.
I mean, fair enough.
Well,
What are you talking about? Look at this. You could be like
push
this.
blocks
Look.
aren't important.
You could be like this.
Yeah, try and
Oh,
do that.
he also has the turbo the auto fire on his
I
controller
don't
too.
use turbo.
I'm just messing. But you could also do things like
Yes, the claw grip, which I said earlier, I don't play that way.
dude, how do you play? Show us.
I use my thumbs, like you would be doing on an NES controller or a Super Nintendo
Oh,
controller.
you mean like when I'm texting and stuff? I got you.
Yes.
It's all good.
Like, I don't have some magical advantage over people who are on fight sticks because I'm using a controller.
Okay.
If that was the case, then everyone would use controllers.
I got you. Well, only thing I'm gonna say, before I do, are you done?
I'm not. I'm done.
Okay. So, next Friday, December 16th, we are going to have a Hyper Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition tournament. And I can't wait because we have different editions. You got different versions of Street Fighter 2 in that game. I want to see what people are going to be picking. I want to see what's going to happen, how you adjust and whatnot. Now, that's going to be on Fightcade, but it's open to anyone and everyone. The prize to this is this ultimate cool statue from Big what is it? Big Boy Toys?
Yeah,
Doobie?
Big Bad Toys. Yeah,
Big Bad
Boy
Toys.
or something like that. Big Bad, Big Boy.
So Doobie is donating that for the first place winner. He picked up this statue. He's held down to it for a while. It's Ken doing his Sure You Can with the flame around him. It looks really cool, really sick. We will advertise that later on. I just want to throw it out there for those of you that are listening and that are interested. So more information to follow. Just giving a heads up. That's all that I have.
Ken, you mean Red Ryu?
God. Okay.
Palace
Now
swap.
I officially give up. Closing the stream. Have a good night, everybody. I promise you next week.
What next week's is?
I promise next week you will not have Utility Man. That's all I'm going to say. Okay.
At
I
least tell them
promise
what
you
the
that.
topic is next week.
We'll leave it as a big surprise. That's what we'll do. We'll keep people wanting to come back to find out. Because I have two different things that I have in mind, but I'm leaning towards one particular thing, and I want to see who's available and who's going to come through. But we'll see how it goes. It can either go either or in different directions. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, thank you
All
for joining. I wish you guys a nice evening. I will talk to you in a few minutes.
Yes,
Because
you will.
literally we have a meeting, so we'll talk in a few minutes. So I'll see you guys at the Fighters Evo Discord server.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Have a good night, guys. Thanks
All
everyone that tuned in. I appreciate it, and I hope it helps whoever's listening, and that you guys apply it and put it inside your game, whatever apply it, however. So whatever helps. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
See ya.
I'm gonna
See you later.
take care, everybody.